welcome to the Saturday Football Show. I'm joined by the most wonderful panel yet again. Saeed, hi.
I'm happy. Happy as a Larry.
We're going to get right into why you're so happy and what's going on this week. Doyle, hi.
Hello. How you doing, guys?
My favourite Scouser.
Oh, I love to hear that. We love to hear that.
And of course, Lewis, hi.
I'm all good. Should have followed the dress code, though. I see everyone's dressed for United's
Yeah.
funeral tomorrow. You guys should have told me, but it's what it is.
No, you came repping colours, even though we don't love that shirt, but still.
Yeah.
I kind of don't like this one either. I'd never understand why you wear red, but like I told you
It's
earlier,
not
Giroud scored
red.
4 in it.
It's like salmon.
It's a weird colourway. I don't really know what Nike were thinking when they came up with this one, but yeah, to pick the first thing, I was in a rush. So is what it is.
Moving on, we got here. Obviously, guys, as usual, we're going to be going through all the 3 o'clock games across the Premier League, Championship, League One, and League Two. So just to run through the fixtures, obviously Arsenal with the early kickoffs today. That finished 2-0 with Newcastle. Crystal Palace versus Aston Villa, Liverpool v Southampton, Norwich v Wolves, and Brighton versus Leeds. So, shall we go through the lineup, Saeed?
Yeah, we should do.
Who have you got to start with?
I'm going to go with Norwich versus Wolves. Norwich lineup, we have Tim Krul in net, Max Aarons right back, Hanley, Gibson, Williams, big up to Williams for me, obviously on loan at United, Gilmore, Norman, yeah, there we go, McLean, Sargent, Pukki, Rashika, that's the Norwich lineup. And for the Wolves lineup, we have Sarr in goal, Kilman, Cody, Saiz, Nuri, Matilio, Neves, Semedo. I'm not even going to pronounce this name, but I'm going to go with Trincao. Yeah, that's it. Jimenez and Huang.
Okay, right. Crystal Palace versus Aston Villa. They have gone Crystal Palace. Guaita in goal. Ward, Tompkins, Guay, Mitchell, Gallagher, Milivojevic, Kouyaté, Elise, Benteke and Zaha. And Aston Villa have gone Martinez in goal. Cash, Concert, Mings, Target, McGinn, Nakamba, Bailey, Ramsey, Young and Watkins. Back to you.
Liverpool versus Southampton. Oh, here we go.
Looking forward to this one, aren't we, lads?
We have Alisson in goal, right back, Alexander-Arnold, Konate, Van Dijk, Robertson. We have Henderson, Fabinho, Alcantara, Mo Salah, Jota, and Sadio Mane.
Spicy
and for
team,
Southampton, yeah, you know what it is actually. And for Southampton, we have McCarthy in goal, Benderek, we have Vaholovic, Salisu, Livramento, Ward-Prowse, Romeo, Parad, Borja, Adams, and Armstrong. Good team there.
And of course, we can't go through the Brighton versus Leeds one yet because the fixtures are not, the team sheet is not out. We will do that later on in the show. But of course, early kickoff Arsenal versus Newcastle. Eddie Howe's first game in charge has ended in a loss. Probably unsurprisingly, it's quite a big game, wasn't it, for Newcastle? You guys watched, didn't you? You watched it on the earlier.
Looked a little at the game at half time or something.
Yeah. How was that game?
Yeah. First half, a bit boring, wasn't it?
Yeah, first half boring.
Yeah.
Except for that miss. That miss was hilarious.
Oh, I mean, for me, it was kind of harder to kind of, miss rather than score. You know what I mean? It's crazy, but for me, Arsenal got the job done. I'm kind of worried now because now they're 6 points clear of us. You know what I mean? So I don't know who the real banter club is, but we move. You know what I mean? It's temporary. But yeah, Arsenal got the job done and, they're sitting comfortably now. I think they're 5th or something like that now. So, they're climbing up the table, man.
Who would have thought that? I think, do you know what? What I'm noticing from this Arsenal team is that Partey makes a difference in their squad. He does. They've been shouting and raving about him for the past year. And he actually does. He's a good player. You've seen was it him that done the assist today for Martinelli?
Yeah.
Brilliant baller. And then you see the finish by Martinelli as well. Yeah. Who I actually really like. I like Martinelli. It's good to see him on the score sheet again. And it was a brilliant finish as well. So, yeah, it was a good second half performance from them. Definitely wasn't the same as Liverpool when they played them anyway.
Well,
that's obviously the good thing about Arsenal and the fact that they've managed to bounce back from that drumming last week.
It was a drumming as well,
which I don't think Arsenal fans actually thought that it was going to be as bad as it was.
I don't think anyone did. Even me as a Liverpool fan, I can remember Robbie asking me, "Can Arsenal beat Liverpool?" And I was like, "Yeah, you can beat us," but it just didn't seem like they're on the day. They weren't up for it, except for Ramsdale.
Just shows how far they need to get to, though. Yeah. But I think there's also an understanding with Arsenal that they are on the path to that
Definitely
sort of position.
Yeah, absolutely. And what about Eddie Howe?
Eddie Howe, he's a good little manager. It's good to see him back in the Premier League. I loved him for Bournemouth. That was my second team. Yeah. I loved the style of football that he played. It was attacking. He kept the ball well. I really enjoyed watching him play. So I want to see him do that with Newcastle. He's got a good few players there. For me, St. Maximin is the most exciting player in the league, and we've got Mo Salah, and I love Mo Salah, but to watch St. Maximin play football is a joy. So I want to see Eddie Howe sort of build a team around him and Callum Wilson. Get them two scoring loads of goals. That's what I want to see. Eddie Howe's a good manager. I'm excited to see what he can do.
That's the thing with Eddie Howe as well, because like it's way too early to judge him, especially with that Newcastle side, because they're going from Steve Bruce, who was like massively defensive and just try and protect whatever they had from the start, to a manager who's now expansive. So like it's his first game in the job. Like we could say he's had the job for a while, but he obviously had to deal with COVID and everything. So right now, it's still way too early to judge. He needs to impose his style of play on the team.
It's a difficult task, isn't it, man?
Yeah, it's not easy.
Really, really is a difficult task. You know what? Fair play to him, but he's definitely gone in that job with the view that they're getting relegated, and he can manage them back up. I think
he can do that. See what he did with Bournemouth, didn't you?
Yeah,
he
did it
kept
with
them
Bournemouth,
up and made them a
Yeah.
proper contending team with 10,000 seat stadium.
100%.
He can do that with the support of the Newcastle fans, who are some of the best in the country. Like we know this.
Defo.
And
the
also,
richest club in the world.
he's got a lot of pressure on him right now. He's just come in with the managers, with the owners just coming in, billionaire owners. It's the new era of Newcastle. He's got some big expectations put upon him in this season. So,
But they are in that big transitional period. So
Yeah.
he was obviously going to be the right manager for Newcastle to come in. I know that they were looking at the likes of Emery and Favre and things like that. But to come in and first and foremost keep them up.
Yeah.
We've seen Eddie Howe do that numerous times. Of course, yes, he did take Bournemouth down, but he did keep them up and try and sustain them for what, 3-4 seasons in the Premier League, didn't he?
Brilliant, he was.
So he's probably a very good fit.
Still not won a
and time
game.
will
It's
tell.
crazy. How many games are we in now? Is it game week 13?
yeah.
Yeah.
Still not won a game.
Imagine
I just find that baffling.
feeling.
you
Yeah,
know.
it'd be a horrible feeling. I feel bad for the fans,
Yeah.
like, but they'll get there.
He's going to have to start winning sometime soon if they're going to stay up. Otherwise, they're going to be the richest club in the history of the world to be in the Championship. Right.
Exactly.
Speaking of Championship, Saeed, do you have the fixtures, please?
Yep, I do. In the Championship, we have Birmingham City versus Blackpool, AFC Bournemouth versus Coventry, Huddersfield Town versus Middlesbrough, Hull City versus Millwall, Luton Town versus Cardiff, Peterborough versus Barnsley, Stoke City versus Blackburn Rovers, and Swansea City versus Reading.
Okay, and on to League One, we have Wimbledon versus Fleetwood, Bolton, Cheltenham, Burton v Doncaster, Cambridge versus Sunderland, Gillingham v Portsmouth, Morecambe versus MK Dons, Oxford versus Rotherham, Plymouth versus Wigan, Sheffield Wednesday versus Wickham, Shrewsbury Town versus Charlton, and Lincoln City versus Accrington Stanley. League Two,
Yeah,
Saeed.
League 2. Carlisle versus Walsall, Crawley Town versus Mansfield Town, Forest Green Rovers versus Bristol Rovers, Northampton Town versus Leyton Orient, Port Vale versus Hartlepool, Rochdale versus Exeter City, Salford City versus Oldham Athletic, Scunthorpe United versus Bradford City, Sutton United versus Barrow, Swindon Town versus Harrogate Town, and a postponed fixture due to the weather, Tranmere Rovers versus Stevenage.
Oh, they got lucky because it is
Yeah.
really cold.
Up and down the country.
Snow everywhere today. Right, so we're going to do our predictions as we now do every week. So you should all have your boards to the side. So today we are going to be predicting those three games. We're going to be doing Liverpool versus Southampton, Palace versus Villa, and Norwich versus Wolves. We're not doing the Brighton game because it is a late kickoff. Okay, so make sure you jot these down.
Last week we were way off.
We were way off last week. I hope it's another week like that. Where
you know what? We had so many goals though. To be fair, remember was it 3-3 Burnley versus Newcastle? What was the other one? Brentford was 3-3 as well. We had some good games last week.
Yeah, we did actually. We was very much treated to some good football. Actually.
We had so many goals as well. It was just an insane 3 o'clock. And then you see on like the Tuesday or Wednesday night where they had like 0-0s in all the championships.
Yeah.
Right, okay, pop them down beside you when you guys are ready.
Went with me instincts there, you know. Went with me instincts. I didn't think about it too much. I was like, what form?
I think me
one of
and
them's
Saeed
Liverpool.
are quite
You're already
insane.
gonna have them down.
I just thought, why not, eh? Why not?
Yeah, we'll have to see what happens there. Of course, we will be revealing our score predictions at the end of the show. But of course, we want to see your predictions as well. Put them in the chat so we can see them. Obviously, send in your super chats as well, and we will be reading them out. We are about to get on to Manchester United after this short break, so I'm going to save that super chat. Just hold it in for 2 seconds more, but we'll be back after this ad.
Know what I want to throw into
Well, big rugby, baby.
That's quite hard to say. Where will be?
Big rugby.
Where? I've forgotten the whole thing already.
Just go with it.
Yeah.
Okay, ready? Hey guys, I'm Abbi and this is the Weekend Premier League Preview Show right here on the Don Robbie channel with myself and of course Flex.
Yeah.
Score predictions.
Yes.
Tell me.
Arsenal are going to do that Arsenal thing where everyone expects them to lose, their own fans expect them to lose. They should lose,
Yep.
but I don't think they will, and I think it's going to be 1-1.
Norwich are going down, surely. They are going down.
You would imagine
at this moment in time.
Sorry, any Norwich fans, you're probably thinking the same thing. Well, we'll be discussing the latest Premier League games coming up for that weekend, your team news, and making our predictions. Make sure you guys tune in and don't miss out. That was perfect.
And we are back. So, okay, the super chat is from Josh Sachar, who said, we back top 4 this season and a trophy next season. We push for the league. Now, Saeed, you were in a right old state this time last
Well,
week.
it just shows you how a week can change your life, eh?
Oh, look how
I won the
happy you
lottery.
are.
I won the lottery, guys. You know what I mean?
Can't be
You had
arsed.
your head in your hands. You didn't even know what to do with
Oh, I
yourself.
was emotional wreck. But I feel like this week I'm
sad
a new
it's
person.
over. I'm not
What
gonna
do you mean
lie.
it's
I'm
sad it's
sad
over?
it's
Couldn't have
over.
waited one more
Abbi.
week. Couldn't have waited one more week, bro. I can't be arsed.
Well, listen, I think you should be worried tomorrow. Nah, to be fair.
What, tomorrow?
Wait, we're going to talk about
Carrick.
we're going to talk about that later on.
Yeah.
But for now, let's just talk about Ralph Rangnick. He was, of course, coming in to be your interim.
Yep.
Michael Carrick out of the interim, and now you have your interim manager.
Yep.
Are you happy with that appointment?
For me, yeah, because I'm kind of like just happy, to be happy. That's what I feel like it is for me. I'm finally happy to be happy knowing that we've got Ralph Rangnick, and he's someone for me that it's not a glamorous name. It's not, because we've had that in the past though. And, I just think for me, I'm just kind of like elated now. We've got some sort of structure. We've got something to look forward to.
Yeah.
And I think that for me, it's like, I just love it. So, yeah, I'm happy.
You mentioned you were happy.
Yeah.
There was a video of you.
Oh, is there?
There is a video
Can we
of
watch
you.
it again?
We're going to watch it, yeah.
All right,
Let's watch it again. Just
Cool.
see how happy
Ralphic
you are.
Rangnick, baby. Ralphic Rangnick. Whoa. Listen. Let me just drink on this one. Let me see how it tastes. Success. Champions League.
Here he goes again.
Man United back. Listen, I'm gassed, Robbie. I am gassed at the fact we now have some sort of structure, some sort of identity going forward right now, Manchester United. I'm so gassed now.
So very, very happy.
Yeah.
Very happy.
You see, I'm smiling.
Are you disappointed that he's only going to be an interim? I know he's obviously going behind the scenes after, but would you not have liked to have him as a full-time coach?
No, because we had that idea with Ollie, and the rest
It's a
history.
little bit different.
No, but I'm saying it's a little bit different because
My
we got
God.
excited. No, but we got excited at me, and we were like emotional. It was like, give him the job, and then next week, we shouldn't have done it. And then we sang the song "Ollie's at the Wheel," but now we just have to be very, very calm, but also excited, because it's something now I can look forward to and say, you know what, we've got some sort of plan because of what he's done in the past, how he's restructured Leipzig, what he's done with Schalke, teams like your manager
Klopp
spoke
and
well about.
Tuchel, us two right
Well, there
there,
you
mate.
go.
Yeah.
What about
He's
No,
a famous coach. Like
He
even
is.
Klopp, you see what he said? Come out and said, Man United have got a good coach now.
Yeah,
This is
I've
not
Klopp
actually
looks
got-
shook. I can't
He
lie.
Yeah,
does.
he did. He was
I don't
like-
blame him
It's
either.
like
I've
his
got the
dad's
quote.
come all something into the league, and he's like,
He does. I've got the quote right here. Jurgen Klopp on Ralph Rangnick, who said, unfortunately, a good coach is coming to England, to Manchester United. He's a really experienced manager, built 2 clubs from nowhere. Manchester United will be organised on the pitch. That's obviously not good news for other teams. And quite a few other teams are also probably a little bit shooketh about the whole thing. As you said, he's very, very experienced. He's been dubbed the professor of football for inspiring modern German coaches such as Jurgen Klopp, Thomas Tuchel, Ralph Hasenhüttl, and Julian Nagelsmann. So how could you even say that you wouldn't be interested to see him as a full-time coach?
No,
So just
again,
rule it out like that.
as Robbie
How have
asked these
United
questions.
just ruled it out like that?
No, because you know why? Because let him do what he's got to do. If he won the Champions League, he would deserve.
yeah.
would deserve
If
the
he
job.
wins the Champions League in this season, lad, then wow.
Tuchel did it. So
Yeah, he could. Yeah, that's fair.
Do you think
fair
that there's
play.
a chance that they'll go back on that decision, or?
I don't know. I think what they know, because he's clear what he wants to do. That's what makes it key now.
Yeah.
He's clear that he wants to go upstairs and restructure the football club. So when he knows where he wants to go, I don't think he'll be kind of hovering the kind of role. He knows he's here till the end of the season. He gets the club into good hands, and then someone comes in, maybe Ten Hag, maybe Zidane, whoever fits in line with what he wants to do.
So he's definitely going into a director of football role after.
Yeah.
Okay.
Like almost, they've called it a consultancy role, but it's a fancy word for
Director
of
of football.
Yeah,
They're doing a smart thing. Yeah, this is a very smart move.
It's a
from
very
Man
smart
United.
move.
They've got managerial trauma. And
Yeah.
rightly so.
We
Look
have.
what they've just been through.
I know.
But you have hired someone in a short term to restructure this club, and then in the long term, he's going to make sure that the things that he's put in place are abided to by the new manager. It means you've got a plan.
Yeah.
You have a plan.
Which is what United
Exactly.
have lacked.
Yeah.
This is
since
not
the
nice
turn.
for me to see. I'm not gonna lie.
Yeah. It
But
is.
also, it's nice to see Saeed happy.
Listen,
isn't
we're
it?
happy.
Oh,
you know
you
what I
are
mean?
such
it's
a
actually
nice.
nice.
Happy.
Yeah,
Yeah, look, you know what? That's what I say. Yeah, this guy's a famous scouser, man. Yeah, man, this guy's the best scouser I know, man. Look at that. He's happy
It's
for me.
rare to see a Scouser say
Oh,
that.
yeah.
That's what I mean.
Got me feeling that
And there's
bad.
been one goal already. Liverpool are off the mark.
Yes, Diogo Jota!
Jota, we actually
Oh
hadn't
my
even barely
God.
I
kicked
said
off
a
yet.
minute, you know.
Yes.
Less than a minute.
Up the Reds.
Wow.
We
What a
love
good
that.
spot.
I barely anyone even sat down.
Jorginho vision. Love to
Wow,
see it.
That was good karma. That's what that was.
Crazy.
Wow. Okay, so there we go. We're off the mark already. 3 o'clock. 3:02
Yeah.
now. We've already had the first goal. Like last week, we had the lovely early goals.
Yeah.
This is what we love to see.
Exactly.
Diogo Jota with the goal there, and I guess we'll wait to see if anything else happens. I hope it's a cracking.
That's
cracking
demoralising though for Southampton. You know, you just got in. You want to get your shape in. You want to kind of be resolute, and then all the game plan goes out the window.
Straight
I
away.
get a little bit scared though, you know what, right? So I get worried when we score in like the first few minutes, right? And the reason being is we get quite complacent. We're like, just going to score a few more now, aren't we? And then they've scored 2 goals and it's 2-2. And you're like, how has this happened?
Because your defence isn't really as strong as it
Yeah,
has
your
been.
defence
No,
has
this
been-
season.
it isn't.
Like,
It
it's
isn't.
still good and everything.
Yeah,
Why
you
do you
know,
think your
it's not the
defence has
same.
been, shakier?
I mean, last season they didn't get to play with each other for a whole year, and that's going to make a massive difference. Also, Virgil's partner was Gomez for like 3 years, and now it's Matip, and now it's Kanate, and so again, that happens just
Which
like
one do you like?
out of Matip and Kanate.
Yeah.
Matip is one of the best defenders, underrated defenders, honestly.
Really?
Yeah, he's honestly.
Everyone says that.
He's gracious. He's good. He's on the ball. He knows what he's doing. He's
Yeah.
composed. But I do like Kanate's energy. You know, I'm not gonna pick. I can't pick my favorite. Virgil's the best one, but I
Obviously.
can't pick my favorite between these two.
Yeah.
It's sad to see Gomez missing out a little bit because he's a young defender, but I feel like he's the future plan still. We've still got him for a while, so I like Matip. I'll say Matip. That's what I'll say.
Okay. Just quickly back on Ralph Rangnick, because I don't know if anyone knows this, but Sadio Mane was actually signed by Ralph back at Metz
I didn't know that.
at age 20 for £450,000.
No wonder Jurgen Klopp was like, "Hey,
Guys,
Yeah.
talent ID is ridiculous.
buy him because."
So, I mean, that really tells you everything. He's got such a great eye for talent as well.
And Cater as well.
Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah, Navigator. And also he's recognised as one of these innovators, of
I like that
football,
word.
tactically
Thank you.
innovator.
He created this Gegenpress, Jurgen Klopp.
Yep.
He got it from him.
Yeah, they fight to win the ball back really quickly
Yeah.
after they lose possession. So rather than dropping deep, so I'm intrigued to see the way United are going to set up. I'm intrigued to see the way United are going to play.
Yeah.
Just a quick one, because you mentioned that whoever comes in at the end of the season, whether it be Zidane or who else did you mention?
Ten Hag.
Ten Hag. I noticed you didn't mention Pochettino, because all the talk this week has been around Mauricio Pochettino, unfortunately, and I really, really hope it doesn't happen, but I have this feeling it will. Would you not be happy with Mauricio Pochettino?
I mean, I wouldn't be not happy. You know, I think it would be a good manager, but I just feel like for me, I think it will now be decided on what Ralph Rangnick would want, and I think he would be looking to a manager who would be in his kind of like, philosophy and whatnot, and I don't think it would be Pochettino. I think it would be more me Ten Hag. Even though Ten Hag really isn't the kind of the Gherkin press, it's still similar in the way maybe the philosophy and the way they think. They're very, very much kind of like
aligned,
detailed, planned. So it could be that, but then again, you know what I mean? If they don't want to come, Abby, I don't want to say to people, come, beg to come to United. We want people that want to come to us.
Absolutely. There's been a goal in the Championship. Swansea 1, Reading 0. I need to keep on top of these, because otherwise, if I miss them, I won't see them. You're correct. But do you not think? Why do you think Zidane doesn't want to come? You mentioned last week that you thought it was because the timing's not right, and he has the eye on the French national team job. But you look at Thomas Tuchel, and you'll know from what's happened with Chelsea last season. If you come in halfway through the season, you're still in. Somehow you're still in the Champions League.
Ronaldo.
Come on, give us
the
some praise.
biggest stroke
Come
of
on.
luck, because you
Come
didn't
on,
deserve
where are
it.
you guys in?
Listen,
Who
don't
did
talk
you
about
guys
Spurs. Don't talk about Spurs. We're going to talk about Spurs. We're going to talk about Spurs. Actually, Reading have just equalised. It's now 1-1. After 4 minutes,
great
that's a
games.
great game down at Swansea. So I don't understand why, if that job is there, you know, why you wouldn't want to take that job. Why would you then consider it in the summer when the World Cup is only another 6 months away? Does that not give you a red flag that it's probably not going to be Zidane?
I get what you mean, but I also think, you know, for people just before Christmas, you know, you got to move your family over, you know, you've got to sort a lot of stuff out. You know, a lot of people don't realise that personal like matters come into, you know, wanting a job, you know. Apparently his wife doesn't like England.
Fair, it's very cold.
Especially Manchester. She doesn't want it. She's happy where she is. It's cold, you know.
Fair play.
I don't know if she can survive today, you know what I mean? Was it Storm Gale or something today?
Yeah, there's a storm this morning.
Storm, you know what I mean? So for me, it's about timing for them as well. But listen, I would love Zidane to be at United, but, you know, I'm happy now because, again, beggars can't be choosers to a certain extent. I didn't want Brendan Rodgers, but right now would happily, more than happily, take, you know, Ralph Rangnick. Absolutely.
Yeah.
Okay. So you mentioned, Doyle, that that's a bit scary from a Liverpool perspective. I assume maybe not so much from a Chelsea perspective because of how strong you are in every aspect. I say that they're still quite a little bit stronger than they are with Liverpool.
They're showing it, they're proving it. They had that grit, which I never really thought they'd have this season to just get them wins.
That's the thing, because like United are going to get better because of this. So you can't even try and sugarcoat it. Right now, will they get better? Not so sure because they need to adapt. To
Absolutely, I can agree with that one.
And I do think that that's going to take time too. So in terms of like, if you want to talk about either the game coming up tomorrow or the next 6 games or something like that, you might take a bit of time to see it. But Rangnick is definitely going to be the right answer for Man United long term. Am I worried though? Like, it's just another competitor, really. But like, we're at the top of our game.
Yeah, they are at the moment.
Like,
You can't knock Chelsea.
Exactly. That's why we shouldn't be worried about the.
But you guys were in our position last year when you look at where you were, Frank Lampard, and then you kind of.
No, but Lampard tried playing a high pressing system as well. It was just he left the defense so isolated. Like every defender and even DM looked horrendous under Lampard. Tuchel, at the very least, could manage the team defensively.
No, 100%.
So it's a case of balance. Like, we've got that balance now. So I've always said with Chelsea, in the case of one game, I can back us against anybody. You guys, I think you'll be in the same position with Manchester United in about 6 months. But he's still got to get his signings in. He's still got to figure out his team as well.
Yeah,
and that's going to take a bit of time to get to.
Yeah, but do you not think that that's where the disruption might actually come in? Of course, you've got Rangnick now, and he's not really going to be putting his stamp on the team because he's only there for 6 months.
Yeah, true. But then
he's going upstairs, but then whoever you bring in, it's like a manager for a manager.
Yeah, understand.
That's one of the reasons why you're only giving them a 6 months or like half a season contract. Yeah. So if come be it the next season and you need to hire him again, you can do. And he's going to go up there anyway into your director position. So I think he is the caretaker right now, the best one. He's got all the knowledge to put structure into a club. Like, that's why it's worrying for me, just simply because Man United aren't going to be crap anymore.
You know what? You know how I example. You know when you're in December, right, and you know you're not doing well, and then your mum and dad say, right, we're gonna get you a private tutor.
Yeah.
And you've got literally 6 months to get to the summer, and you've got to be ready for the A-levels or GCSEs. That's how I look at with United. They've just got to be ready at the end of the season and somehow manage to get that C or whatever, just to get in within the, you know what I mean, and then get to the next stage of your life. And that's what the United need to do. Get to the next stage of their wherever they're going. And then, you know, we'll never know what happens next season. But for now, it's almost like it's a lot. You know, we're 6 points behind Arsenal now. You know, it's an uphill task. And we play Arsenal on Thursday, and that's an uphill task even more. So, games are coming thick and fast. So it's not going to be easy as well. You know. So
no, you are absolutely right. You're correct. Right, let's move on to Crystal Palace, who of course take on Aston Villa today. Gerrard's second game away from home, first one. They had that lovely 2-0 win last week.
Love you, love.
Asserted himself in the Premier League as Premier League manager. Crystal Palace have also got Patrick Vieira, who's been pretty damn good, actually, managerially, since coming here. He's kind of changed the whole ethos of Crystal Palace, Patrick Vieira, hasn't he?
It was a little bit stale, wasn't it, towards the end? Not like Roy Hodgson's a legend of the English game. Like, he's not necessarily hit the heights that a lot of other managers have, but he's still done really, really competitive things. And in that club, they were struggling with Crystal Palace to have a style and a structure, just like Man United in a way. And he brought a structure, but now Vieira's brought excitement. Yeah. Because I love watching Palace now. They're one of them. In fact, I love watching both of these teams right now. They both play exciting football. And for me, it's just nice to see legends in managerial positions right now. Like, I watched these as a kid. Gerrard and Vieira. I mean, yeah, I know, yes.
Yeah.
No,
You guys will be back.
It's nice to see, isn't it?
no, it is nice to see. And do you know what? When you have such an incredible player such as a Vieira or a Gerrard, it is amazing to see them do well because you see some ex-players don't actually do well.
Yeah.
I'm not digging out Ollie. Ollie did, you know, I think people should
He done
actually
all right, yeah.
He did do all right considering the lack of experience. I think he did, you know, fairly well.
Yeah.
The job was just maybe just too big for him.
Yeah.
But in terms of Vieira, again, you know, Crystal Palace is a nice level club, same as, you know, Steven Gerrard, to get your feet under the table, the feel for the Premier League, and then obviously, you know, kind of prove yourself. There's no really expectation, really,
I
for
guess
both
that's
of those
true.
clubs.
That was Ollie's mistake. Not mistake in a way. No, I won't say mistake because you're always going to take your boyhood club and the one that you love.
Yeah.
But he went straight to the big guns. He
Yeah.
went straight to Man United. Not
Absolutely.
like Aston Villa, no disrespect to the clubs, like, but
He didn't build
the
himself up.
expectations not
Yeah.
as big in these clubs to
Absolutely.
get Champions League, win the league, all that,
Yeah.
like, it's different type of thing. So Ollie, good on him for what he brave to do what he did, mate. Very brave.
Yeah.
It's kind of like the option was given to him, though, because like you guys are in a bad position where Jose left, you looked for an interim,
Yeah.
and then you wanted to go for the ex-manager, and then he did really well in the
Yeah.
interim role. Like it's a case for Ollie where if the opportunity comes, like you'd be worse off if you said no.
Yeah,
Really.
exactly.
Yeah,
Spot on.
100%.
100%.
You'd be living with regret for the rest of your life.
Yeah, you would,
You
yeah.
had to take that. There's a goal in the Championship, and it's Cardiff 1, Luton 0. Cardiff are away at Luton Town. So carrying on with Patrick Vieira, how high can Palace finish, do you reckon?
As high as it
Question
can
that.
go, really, because I actually tipped Vieira not to do well. I just thought, is it a bigger jump for him? Could he handle? Because Crystal Palace for me have stagnated. They've always kind of been mid-table. They've never kind of done anything.
Yeah.
I
Look
think
too
for me,
reliant on Zaha.
They were very, very
yeah,
much so.
you know, so I just looked at them. I thought, what are they? It's similar to Burnley. They're just hovering around mid-table, 15th. But Vieira for me has just revolutionised their play.
Yeah.
They're you know, they've got like young players in there now. Eze, the other kid, I think.
Gallagher as well.
Elise, you know what I mean? So
Edouard, they've got really
Yeah.
exciting
yeah,
young
fast.
attacking players, don't they?
Yeah.
Which is something that Palace, you know, were never renowned for. A lot of
No.
people would always go back to, you know, go to Palace that maybe been at other clubs and kind of like just,
Yeah.
they weren't really like a team you'd look at and think, oh, they're going to do much damage.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But the way that he's got them playing, and I have to say the start of the season actually was, you know, not so great. It looked like he wasn't, you know,
Yeah.
winning games, but
True.
he was trying to obviously implement that philosophy, and things do take time, especially when you've had a manager like Roy Hodgson for such a long time.
Yeah.
And, you know, trying to undo, obviously, or not undo, but upgrade as such,
Yeah.
you know, the work that he'd put into place. But I think that it's made, like we said, made Palace really exciting. It makes you want to actually see their result and be like, oh, if they're on TV, I fancy watching that game.
Like today, like, so even like Palace fans, they are up for it every
Yeah.
game. I don't want to see them anywhere else but in the Premier League. Like, they deserve to be here. They've got such passionate fans, and I want to go to their ground. Actually, it's one of the grounds that I actually
Yeah,
want to go
it's
to.
good ground.
Have you never been to Palace?
No, I've never been.
Great ground.
It sort of reminds me of an Everton type of vibe. You know, like
Yes.
a working
Yeah.
class club. They love the club
It's an
to
old
death.
stadium. It's a
Yeah.
nice, homely old stadium.
Vieira's done really well to fit into the philosophy of that club and just make his mark on it right now. Like like you're saying, these players that he's brought in as well, they're fantastic.
Absolutely. And obviously, the fact that, you know, all these legends come back, I assume it's with the view that one day they will manage their
Boyhoods.
boyhood club.
Yeah.
So what do you think that Vieira needs to do to get to a level, essentially, where he could be considered in the future for the Arsenal job?
That's a big question, that one, isn't it?
Do
I think
they
the
want it?
opportunity would just have to arise, really, because
Yeah.
look how quickly they gave it to Arteta.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like, I'd get what we're saying, like a club of Arsenal's stature, but a club of Arsenal's position, like, I think it'd be very easy for him to get the job. Like, if Arteta did get sacked and he was in a position where, well, let's say maybe not now because he's only just signed the contract, but if he was like in the last year of his contract or something like that, and the job came up, I think they'd go straight for Vieira, if I'm being honest.
It's a really good point. It's
Yeah.
timing, isn't it? Like,
Yeah.
the reality is, Ollie, we're talking about him again, he was very inexperienced, and he did get signed.
Oh, goal.
There's been a goal.
Gerrard, lads.
There we go. Aston Villa, on target for Aston Villa. Away at Crystal Palace, who we've actually just been giving all the plaudits to.
yeah.
We are going to talk about Aston Villa as well, but there we go. There's been a goal down there. Steven Gerrard off and running away from him
I
as
am made
well.
up to see this, you know.
Yeah,
Gerrard's
fair
come
play.
in straight away, hit the ground, running. Love
Yeah.
this, Gerrard, lads.
Absolutely has hit the ground
Yep.
running. And there's also been a goal in League One. Cheltenham Town are winning away at Bolton, 1-0. Sorry, as you were talking about him, please continue before we
What
move on
was
to
you saying
Villa.
again? Who was it?
Vieira.
Vieira.
Yeah. I know, poor fella, now he's 1-0 down. He's put his philosophy into the club, and to get into Arsenal, I was saying about Ole. Ole was really inexperienced, and he got the control of one of the biggest clubs in world football.
Yeah.
And so, yeah, it's what Lewis said. Opportunities come up, and he just arise. And if he's there at the right time, right moment thing, he could get it.
Yeah.
Especially with what he's doing
And
now.
they're playing. The style of football he's playing would be the exact style of football, I guess, that Arsenal would want to play. That free-flowing, expansive, attractive football, isn't
This
it?
makes sense, actually, because that's what he's learned, hasn't he, from
of
Wenger
course.
and in his playing career. It makes a lot of sense.
But it's quite funny, actually, because looking at where he's actually managed before, obviously he was at Manchester City and he was doing the academy, under 21s, youth league, and obviously went to New York and was doing, managing there. That was 90 matches, and then on to Nice, 89 matches, and now Palace. So would you say that it was strange that Palace looked at him, because obviously they were still looking at, again, a Nuno and people that were, I guess, were more established Premier League managers. And I wonder what made them go for a Vieira.
I think it's just kind of a new approach. I think they must have seen what he's kind of done at Nice. I think they must have looked at the style of play, looked at what they're doing and how they're getting young players, and they must have thought, you know what? Let's have a shot with that. For me, I think he needs to just carry on what he's doing. Don't worry about the Arsenal news straight away, because Arsenal is only a young manager. He'll get there as soon as he can. But for now, learn your trade. I always think, do managers now have to get a big job now? Can they not just learn in a club like Villa and then get themselves up to top 4, 6, and build themselves up? You don't have to go into a big job now.
I think it's a case of where, for a lot of clubs, it's like, they've been out of a dynasty or they've been out of a good period and they need someone to take them through a transition. And it's like, when you're in that position, the one manager you can bring that the fans would get behind from the start is a club legend. Like Chelsea, for example, we had Maurizio Sarri, we had the transfer ban, we lost Eden Hazard. If Maurizio Sarri stayed, and I love Sarri, he would not have been given the same amount of patience as Frank Lampard. We bring in Lampard, the whole fan base is backing him from the start, despite his lack of experience, despite him not having anything to show for it. I think maybe if we go back with you guys when you had Kenny Dalglish and everything, it's the exact same thing.
True.
This is a feel-good factor that they bring to the clubs. It's been done for years. He's going to say the point that I exactly said. Essentially, is this just brings a nice feeling to clubs. Also, the reality is these guys have played at the top level of football. They know football in and out. They just need some theoretical stuff and put that into some studying.
And get the energy back up.
They're going to motivate players. If I'm playing for Patrick Vieira, I'm playing for Steven Gerrard, Frank Lampard, I want to show him I'm a good footballer. I want to show him, look what I can do, lad. I really, you inspire me. You're one of the players I watched
everywhere, haven't they?
That's what this is right now. So I'm all for it. I love it.
I know, 100%. There's been a goal in the Championship. Everyone's winning away from home this today. Huddersfield 0, Middlesbrough 1, and a goal in League 2, Sutton 1, Barrow 0. Interestingly enough, talking about teams winning away from home, Crystal Palace were actually unbeaten. Up until now, the game's not over yet. But they were unbeaten at home in the Premier League so far this season, winning 2 and drawing 4. They last avoided defeat in their first 7 home games of a league campaign in 1993-94.
Wow!
So it just shows you the work that he's doing. He's literally turning mentalities around of the whole club as well.
Absolutely.
But Steven Gerrard, so he's had a good start so far. I mean, the afternoon is still early, but looking good so far.
I'm really happy to see it.
What did you take from that game last week when you watched it?
The Villa game?
Yeah, the Villa game.
Just that you could see that the players, like what I just said then, they look at him like, you're Steven Gerrard. Like, that's what you can see. And you can see that he's got like this, like, I am Steven Gerrard, but also professional now, lad. So you've got to play for me and play the right football that I'm implementing into this club. And he's going to bring that passion. He's been one of the best leaders. Like, I'm going to be biased about him, man, because I'm a Liverpool fan.
Obviously.
But he's one of the best leaders I've ever seen in football. He really is. And there's no way he's not going to take that into his managerial position in Aston Villa. And I feel like it's testament right now. They just scored away at Palace, who were a really good team at home. He's starting to put that, like, already, that, like, passion into the club and that discipline and that style that he already knows. I'm really happy to see him.
He's got a lot to prove, after that slip. He's got a lot to prove.
But the thing is, I would say that after that slip, there's been, again, away from home, Cambridge United are 1-0 down at home to Sunderland, and Wimbledon are also 1-0 down to Fleetwood, both in League One. I don't know what's going on away from home today. But no, you are, apart from that slip, bar of the slip, he proved himself so much, didn't he, at Rangers? And,
to be fair, he did.
In Europe as well.
In Europe, in Rangers, and they absolutely loved him, and they bought into whatever he was selling.
Do you know one thing for me as well? The other player, I can't remember his name, the guy that got yellow cards and red cards.
Morelos,
and he managed him. I feel like he managed these, like, feisty players really well. He was disciplined with them, but still give them game time because he knew they were good players and stuff.
Of course.
I really like his managerial style, really do.
Yeah. Who do you think he's taken that style from?
That's a mad one. I
think it's his own style.
I was about to say that he's his own person. Gerrard is very much his own person. You've seen him playing for Liverpool in the early 2000s and coming into the latter ones, and he was that team. That team was based around him. The personality of that team was Steven Gerrard. So I think no matter where he goes, he's always going to have that stamp because he's just that personality. Yeah, he really is.
And considering they've lost their last 3 away games, this is a good start.
Really good start.
Very, very good
start. They lost 5, didn't they, before he come there? 5-4, mate.
Yep, they did.
And the last win, guess where they got it at? United. It's crazy.
Right, let's talk about Liverpool versus Southampton a little bit. We can start with Southampton. They were on quite a good run until obviously last week when they suffered that little bit of loss.
Yes.
Ralph hasn't all because he's had quite a few critics. He had those terrible, 9-0 results, you know, twice, and it's a lot when you think, wow, a manager has survived 2 9-0 losses. How has he come through that?
I think with the way that he's been playing for Southampton as well since he's joined, it's kind of given him a bit of time too, because you can see progression, you can see good football with the side, you can see players getting better, and I think with his style of play and also the quality of the squad, I think when you play like that, you can sometimes fall victim to big defeats like this, which is why you kind of have to accept it when it comes. Obviously, losing 9-0 twice is ridiculous.
That's heavy, he'll never forget them days.
It comes with it, and I think it's something that Southampton fans have to take on the chin. And I think they know that as well.
Yeah, I agree with that. He plays exciting football. He again is another one of them managers that reminds me of Rangnick. You know, Jürgen Tuchel played that exciting football.
Well, he's obviously kind of learned from him, hasn't he?
Same school, same school, same
and also,
philosophy.
Southampton have got under the radar, they've got one of the best academies, you know that. They produce some fantastic footballers, got a great scouting system, so he has the resources to bring these talented young players in and play that style of football with them.
Do you reckon they've got I've got a fair feeling that they'll be in trouble this year, Southampton?
I actually predicted Southampton were one of my teams to maybe go down.
Really?
At the start of the season. And I actually, there's been a goal. Forest, don't get excited yet, it's not in the Premier League. League 2, Forest Green Rovers 1-0 against Bristol Rovers. There was actually a correction from that AFC Wimbledon game. It's actually 0-0 with Fleetwood. And there's been a goal, again, the away team. Morecambe 0, MK Dons 1. So everyone away from home today. Having a wonderful afternoon. Just to confirm the Premier League scores, Arsenal versus Newcastle. The early kickoff finished 2-0. Liverpool 1-0 against Southampton. Crystal Palace losing 1-0 at home to Aston Villa. And Norwich versus Wolves is 0-0. Southampton.
Good team. I like them, like watching them play, but they have suffered in the last few years. If you remember a few years ago, how long ago was it now? 3 or 4 years ago? Did we finish in 10th? 11th. Yeah. They were doing really well.
Because call their players, man.
Yeah, it was. I can't. But you know what? If you ask Southampton supporters now, I think they'd be glad to see people like Mane and Virgil, who have had such a high ceiling for development, take that potential and fulfill it. Get a Champions League and a Premier League. I'm happy to see that.
Would you? Because
are they going to do anything? I'm no disrespect, but are they going to win a Champions League or a Premier League at Southampton?
Well, hang on, because actually, if they wouldn't have sold their best players, they could have.
They could. You never know where they'd be.
If their board and their owners, instead of selling everyone and trying to make a profit off of these players, if they would have kept the players that they had, the likes of Wijnaldum, Mane, Wanyama, Danny Ings, I'm trying to think who the fullbacks that they had as well.
Klein.
And these are the ones that we just Lallana.
Ricky Lambert, we even took off them
as
well.
The ones that
little legend.
These are the ones that we can think of at the top of their head, and there's so many. Even going back to the likes of Bale or the Oxlade-Chamberlains. I know that we're going quite a few way back then, but still, if they would have actually invested in that team, they had really good roots. They had Pochettino obviously at that point. They were playing fantastic football. I think they finished 8th, didn't they? Or something in that first season.
Just to play devil's advocate to that though, if you look at Liverpool, we had the same thing nabbed off us by Barcelona all the time. We were getting Philip Coutinho's taking offers. We were getting players took offers.
To be fair though, at good prices though.
Luis Suarez, good prices definitely, because we were holding them to ransom. But it was happening in the big clubs as well. It was happening there in the highest level. So in my opinion, it all comes down to, yes, definitely keeping your players, but the philosophy of your team. If you keep that philosophy, you can buy cheaper players like Mohamed Salah for 30 million.
Did you remember when he used to tweet and say, get off, we don't want, he used to be on Sky Sports and they'd be like, oh, we don't want to sell anyone. And they'd be tapping players up. Liverpool would actually be
Jürgen Klopp actually apologised one time. We had to come out and apologise and say, We were talking to Virgil a year before, but sorry.
Yeah.
Sorry,
We got banned from signing for a bit, didn't we?
Yeah.
They said, you're not having them now.
Right, League 2, again away from home, Mansfield Town are 1-0 up at Crawley. League 1, Wickham are 1-0 up away at Sheffield Wednesday. And again in League 2, Swindon are 1-0 down at home to Harrogate Town. What is going on today?
The away games are
The away games are on fire today. Yes, however, they did obviously sell Danny Ings to Aston Villa.
Yeah.
It was an interesting one because he was, kind of like became their talisman. I know he's had a lot of injuries and things like that, but you sell a player of Danny Ings' quality who can change a game for you.
Happened out of nowhere too.
Out of
It
nowhere.
was out of
Literally
nowhere.
just
And
the deal
also,
came that day.
It's like he felt bad about it, lad. That's what it was like.
Yeah.
It's almost like he was like, I feel dead bad for Southampton, but I'm...
But the thing is, you sell to someone like Liverpool, you're not in direct competition.
No.
But I have to say, someone like a Villa, you're much closer to in competition. So why would you sell to a rival, which you're both, arguably you're going to be that mid-table battle, if
True.
potentially mid-table battle. Why would you sell to a
It
rival?
doesn't make sense because I know you guys are interested in him in the summer.
Yeah.
Were Liverpool interested in him?
I don't think so, but...
There was another
he
top
was
6
playing
side. I
brilliant.
can't recall who, but there was another one interesting. Like you said, it makes perfect sense to sell up to the top. I think maybe it would have had something to do with the injury record, but again, if it was the injury record, you could have sold a bit higher up. It really doesn't make sense. There wasn't even a lot of time to properly look into it because before you even knew, the deal was already done and he was already on his way.
He was already there.
What that tells me is essentially the player wanted to move. I think he's saying what you guys are saying right now.
Yeah.
He's got a bit of foresight. It's quite an intelligent move for him. You can see Southampton sort of slipping and how much work he was putting in for that team.
Yeah.
And so now he's like, I'm going to have to take that little step to a more secure team. And if you look at Villa last season, they were
That's the thing.
flying.
Yeah.
And to
Aston
build
Villa were amazing.
onto that as well, maybe it was because he wanted first team football. Because
Yeah.
if you're going to Tottenham, you're not benching Harry Kane.
Yeah,
full
spot
stop.
on that.
No, you're not. You're
So
not.
maybe
You
that's
might
what
at the
spot
moment.
on
to be
that,
fair.
lad. Yeah, I know what I was
You
gonna say.
might at the moment.
Harry Kane wants to play with them farmers now. When's the next international break?
Yeah, unfortunately, it's not coming out soon enough for him.
It's in March.
But of course, they went and they actually replaced Danny Ings with Adam Armstrong of Blackburn, wasn't it?
He
Who had a
played well
really,
for them.
really good
Start
good
and then he's
se-
fading
good
off.
season. Yeah. He scored 1 and assisted 2 in each of his last 3 Premier League appearances, and that's the more than he actually had in the first 23 games of the competition with Southampton.
One of them was a screamer as well. Was that the one where it bounced up just outside the box?
Was that the one
Yeah.
against? Oh, they won
First
1-0.
2 minutes,
Was
yeah.
it the one against Villa?
It
They
might
actually
have been,
scored one against Villa.
He
I
launched
think.
it in from like outside the
He
box.
should have scored against United, but
He should have done. Bolton won, Cheltenham won. They have equalised. Bolton are at home. Finally, a home team actually get back into the game. Do you think that when you come up from the Championship, let's say you're a striker and you're banging in like 25, 30 goals, and you come up to the Premier League, do you think it takes time to obviously understand how the Premier League works? Because the Championship is such a tough league as well.
Pookie, that's what I'm going to say to you. Pookie was phenomenal in the Championship, insane. He's dealing with a different calibre of player and he's got more time on the ball in the Championship. It's not, no disrespect, it's just a
It's true
different
that,
type
you
of
know, yeah.
football, that's all it is. And you look like people like Ivan Toney. He had one of the best goals.
don't say that round here.
I know.
Yeah, don't say that around here.
I know, they don't like him. But yeah, he's scoring bags of goals really in the last season, and now he's still doing well for himself. But his level's not the same. The Premier League is ridiculously high level.
Better defenders as well.
This is the thing, because I think it's different depending on the position, because we loan a lot of players out to the Championship and they come back and their form translates into the Premier League as well. But I think when it's strikers, it's a little bit different. And I'm not really sure for the reasons why, but it's not like they all struggle, but they don't hit the same heights. I used Ivan Toney, for example. I'll use Tammy Abraham as an example. He had 15 goals for us in the Premier League, but it was also a case of he got 7 in his first 6 or 7 games for us, and then he got about 3 or 4 for the rest of the season. So they do end up like still being somewhat prolific, but the adjustments are a lot harder for strikers, I think, as opposed to
Better
other positions.
goalkeepers as well. Much better goalkeepers in this league, which again, believe me, makes a massive difference when
And
you
the
have a good
chance
shot.
conversion has to be very high.
You have to be able to 2 touches. You have to have a good 2 touches and be able to slot it. Like
Also,
that.
half the teams play low blocks here anyway, so that probably comes into it too.
100%, mate. You're spot on there.
I've got a question. Remember when you signed, was it Ben Davis from Wigan?
Yeah.
Was it,
Poor
was
fella.
it Wigan?
Yeah, no, it's from Preston North End. Yeah.
What
Where's
was
he
the
gone?
point?
Yeah.
He went straight back, didn't he?
Yeah, he did.
But what was the point of that? Because if you're going to obviously buy someone from the Championship,
But they were desperate. Though.
Yeah,
They
like
were
honestly,
desperate.
desperate. Like we
he
had
went on a holiday
nobody.
for 6 months to Liverpool.
It's sly, and I felt bad for him because he's obviously telling us, I'm signing for Liverpool. This is going to be a big move for me and all. And I felt really bad for him.
Nice
actually.
holiday though.
He
You
was
should see the
captain.
docks and
I know. Yeah.
See the dogs.
He was captain of Preston as well. Like so, the fact that we took him away, it was his boyhood club. I felt quite bad for it, but we were all my days when I say desperate, we were using our third choice centre backs that then got injured, so we literally didn't have one. We were putting Fabinho on centre back because we didn't have any more left.
But what? But you didn't. Did you?
We didn't even play him.
He did play.
No, we didn't.
So
And,
what was the point?
Nat Phillips just became prolific. Nat Phillips just became.
And then he got binned on now. Where's he?
No, he's still here, but he's definitely not playing the role that he did last season. But he done really well for himself. But yeah, poor Ben Davies, mate. I'm sorry about that, lads.
And Kabak as well. Remember Kabak?
Yeah, Kabak.
I mean, we tried. That's another reason why Ben Davies didn't get one, because we got Kabak in for a little 6-month period, and we thought, let's give him a try. But he turned out not so well.
That was good that you did that, because I think a lot of clubs would actually been like sniffing around Kabak and hadn't made the move.
It's at Norwich now.
And you made it.
We tested it out for everyone.
Yeah, and then actually you made it, and then everyone was like, well, actually, don't worry about it.
Norwich went, so we'll have him.
Yeah, that's fine. You can send him back. Liverpool are the only team to have scored in all 12 of their Premier League games this season, now 13. The Reds have found the net in each of their last 22 games overall, netting at least twice in those 18.
We're scoring goals. I think that's the reason why we are able to not be so good at defending at the moment, because we're unbelievable at scoring goals.
You've scored the most in the league.
We're scoring over 2 goals.
It's 2-0.
Yes, the Red Men! Just as I'm saying it as well, that's mad.
2-0 Liverpool.
2-0 Liverpool.
You were still actually, you were top of how many top scorers of the
I was about to say,
Diogo
Jota, lads. Honestly, right, if you look at his goals per minute, Jota at the moment, the only player that's above him, right, is Mo Salah. That's it.
Wow.
Honestly, he is the best super sub you've ever seen in your life.
You know what? That's true. And I would have thought you'd be missing Firmino, but you know
what?
Not any chance.
Not at all.
Klopp has got a good eye.
A few scores. Port Vale 1, Hartlepool 0.
Mo Salah with you.
Reading have levelled up again away at Swansea. It's now 2-1 away. And that Liverpool one, most
Andy Carroll's at Reading.
I did not know Andy Carroll was at Reading.
Neither did I, at all.
I did not know that.
Today I learned.
Yeah, remember the time when we bought him for 35 mil?
Oh dear.
So,
actually, I won't talk about that.
That's all I've got to say, Saeed, is the only way is up, my mate, okay?
Only way is up. You know that song, don't you?
Yeah, we all like that song. Reminds you of Towie, doesn't it?
Yeah.
So Liverpool have scored more goals than any other side. So when this document was out, it was 35. It's obviously now 37. While Norwich have scored fewer than Southampton. Norwich have only scored 7 this campaign. Southampton with 11. It's pretty uneven this game, isn't it? It's pretty uneven. Mohamed Salah has made 19 take-ons in the opposition box in the Premier League this season, 11 more than any other player.
It's a joke,
and
honestly.
I assume that stat's also gone up now as well.
We were saying about, I was watching the Porto game the other day, and we were saying about how many goals you scored, and I was saying it's not just literally the stats, it's the type of goals that he has scored. We can, all of us right now, remember 2 of them. One against Watford and one against City, where he literally sat 5 players down each time.
Yeah.
And the calibre of players that he's playing against are top draw. These are top players. And he's able to do this. Honestly, I'm so grateful to have him in my team, so grateful to watch him. Like, this is the best period of being a Liverpool fan that I've had in my life.
Yep.
This is wonderful.
And you had to win today.
And you had to win today.
Yeah, we did. Of
course. So what's the situation then? Because obviously, Mo Salah is he out of contract at the end?
Yeah, he needs a new contract.
Is it this season he's out of contract?
I think it's next season.
Okay, so what is the hold up there? Because he obviously loves Liverpool. Is it just about money?
I think our owners have got a problem, right, with signing players that are on the 30 mark, which I think is antiquated now. It's an old-fashioned way of thinking, right, because players are in better condition than they've ever been, and they play until they're 30-something, 35.
Look at Ronaldo.
And Zlatan Ibrahimovic and all these really, truly talented players, they stay in the game forever. They don't leave now. So I think they should look at this, the best player in the world at this moment on form, and say, lads, whatever money you want, here you go. Because we've let good players go like Genie, because he was 30.
But Liverpool don't have them same principles, though.
No, we don't.
If they're saying, right, you're on, let's say they offer him 280k a week, 280,000 a week, but he wants 300,000 a week. Liverpool won't budge, and they'll say, right, see you later then.
Yeah,
I'm 30 years old,
but
see you later.
Would that be the right decision?
No, it would be the silliest. Why would you ever sell the best player in the world? He's playing at the highest level of football. He's playing insane football. Like, why would you do? I can't comprehend letting him go. I really can't. It's the silliest decision.
But would you not have considered that when you sold Coutinho at the time?
No, because he loves the club. Mo Salah loves us, and we love him. Like, Phil Coutinho had done his service, and he couldn't see the future with us. And I understand that you've done your part and you left us. But Mo Salah, he doesn't want to go. He wants to stay with us. He loves us, and we love him.
Do you think it's a case that maybe he's trying to play for that contract? Because we've seen players do it before, and they always up their performances.
They do, don't they? That's a real thing. I nearly said it.
It's also part of the reason why they don't.
Thing.
It's also part of the reason why they don't extend it right now. Because I saw it with Like, let's
Just
say,
dangling at you.
like we've seen with Willian, like we've seen, like if go to Tottenham. I remember when Adebayor was looking for a contract for you guys and banged out his performances. Frank Lampard back in 2013 was like this close to breaking a record. We didn't extend it until it was done. So I think it's a case for you guys. Like maybe just wait till the season's done. You'll see.
We've got that with Pogba. We got with Pogba right now because he's not willing to sign the deal.
Do you even think it would be a good idea to keep Paul Pogba?
I don't know. Selfish reasons, of course.
Paul Pogba under the Rangnick press. I want to see
the
that.
best midfielder in the world. Why not? But I just think for me,
Did you say best midfielder in the world?
He's not the best midfielder in the world. Come
on.
on.
Are we talking about Jorginho now? Come on.
Come on, Saeed. He's not the best midfielder.
So who's
in the
better?
world. Many
Jorginho,
others.
Lots and lots of players.
Kante, are you kidding me? Man, he puts Kante in his pocket. Man.
Pogba only looks
good
good when he's next to Kante.
Listen, you know what I mean? Let's not go there. I made that statement, and I think we'll end it there.
Best in the world. You're having a laugh.
Best midfielder in the world, yeah.
He could be.
So you've got,
he's got the potential. He's got a high ceiling.
Listen, you don't need to go to Tottenham. I know where we're at, okay? And we're going to talk about Tottenham the second half of this show. But it doesn't hurt me.
De Bruyne.
It doesn't hurt me.
For me, De Bruyne, I don't know. I think for me, De Bruyne has his qualities, but I still think Pogba is just another level above him. But each to their own.
Jorginho, anyone giving him
Jorginho, come on.
Even Thiago.
What do you mean, Jorginho? Come on. What are we doing?
Listen,
wow.
Your Pogba would dream of stats Jorginho's been breaking this year. Come on,
I don't
bro.
look at stats. I look at the eye test. You know, I mean, that's the main thing you should look at. But I think what I was trying to get to before you guys distracted
Sorry, lad. I couldn't help that. I couldn't help it.
With that outrageous.
I didn't want it to distract you, but I just thought I'd put it in there. You guys started shouting about it. But yeah,
can't be arsed.
Anyway, but I just
3-0
There we go.
Hey, if it's a Diogo Jota hat-trick.
Is it a Jota?
Imagine getting that on FPL.
Come on, tell me.
I can't be arsed.
3-0 is right.
3-0. While we wait for that to come in, Plymouth 0, Wigan 1, again winning away from home. AFC Wimbledon 0, Fleetwood 1.
3-0 to
Again
Liverpool
away
at the
from home.
moment.
Can they please tell us the score from this game? And guys in the chat, please do put in if you guys think that Pogba is a better midfielder than Jorginho. In fact, let's run a poll.
Yes, let's do this.
Let's do this. Let's
Yes,
run a poll.
please.
Guys,
Kevin De Bruyne.
let's do this poll, please. Jorginho or Pogba. I know I'm voting for Thiago with the goal for Liverpool. And Liverpool 3, Southampton 0 was not looking good. It's not even half time yet.
Terrible.
Oh, what a great day
Liverpool.
this is. What a great day,
Oh,
guys.
well, my prediction's going to be well off if this carries on.
Hey.
I don't know, you know.
Oh, I don't know.
Who got the assist, though?
Let's see who the assist. Hopefully it's Salah. We don't know who the assist is. We'll find out.
Thiago's, do you know what? He's come and go. Like, he's always been the quality player that we wanted him to be, but he hasn't had the playing time. And now he's getting it. You're seeing it shining through. Now he's getting the goals that everyone was raving about. Like, woo, 3-0 to Liverpool.
3-0 Liverpool. Just another day at the office for Liverpool.
I was worried that the goal would make us complacent, but actually it looks like we're quite running.
Thiago's coming into form, you know.
Yeah, he is. That's honestly, lads. And people rave and rant about him, and I get it. Like, it must be frustrating for opposition fans to hear how much we're always Thiago. But honestly, all I've got to say is watch the last goal he scored in the Champions League, and it says everything about him. His technique is flawless.
Yeah, it was
honestly,
a joke, that goal.
Watching him brings joy to people's eyeballs. Like, if he could play for just like a team that wasn't Liverpool and didn't have that identity, or play for an all-star team, everyone would love Thiago, and I really mean that.
Who got the assist, Saeed?
Not sure. They've not said it yet.
Not said it yet. Okay,
so
we
we're
will.
waiting for confirmation for
Might
that
not
one.
We will
happen,
keep it
to
up.
be fair.
Right, I believe the poll is now up, guys. So go and vote if you think it is
Why have you put
Jorginho
in the poll? I want to see what the
or
poll is.
Pogba. Right, the poll. Let's have a look and see if the poll is up. Who is a better midfielder? Oh,
Thiago.
what? Hold on, wait, whoa.
You guys didn't even put
You guys haven't
Jorginho
even
in
put
it.
Jorginho in there.
That is a shock.
Whoever's doing the polls, you lot are trying to
We're
troll
gonna-
me. You did
yeah,
it the last time with
this
the
is out of
Champions
order.
League, and now you're doing this again.
This is-
I get everyone hates Chelsea, but this is just an
Can I just do
agenda.
something?
No, you can't do it on the Don Robbie one.
Yeah, there we go. We've done it already.
Outrageous. Anyway,
I
that
get
is.
my one in there as well.
Well, I'll tell you what, he's not going to win that. De Bruyne is going to win that one. But it should have been between Pogba and Jorginho, because I think is
quite
Jorginho,
fair,
people in
isn't
the chat's going, Jorginho is dead. Have they
Jorginho,
seen?
exactly,
Have you
man.
seen what Jorginho has
It's
achieved
agenda.
statistically?
It's agenda. I just ignore
My
it.
God.
name.
Oh,
I think
yeah,
that's
no
it,
name.
It's so much people have hyped him up for like Ballon d'Or and stuff that they don't actually appreciate the type of player that he
The
is.
type of
He's a
player-
fantastic
well,
footballer.
Look at what he did
In Italy as well, in the Euros,
like,
yeah.
Not just for Chelsea, but
Yeah.
like, just have a look. I mean, you can't sleep on that type of player.
Exactly,
You know, just
like-
because he's not fancy and in the media all the time like certain other players.
He's effective.
He's effective.
Yeah.
There's been a goal. MK Dons are 2-0 up away at Morecambe. Scunthorpe have scored in League Two.
Home team.
Home team.
Whoa.
1-0 Scunthorpe at home to Bradford. Premier League goals as they stand. 2-0 Arsenal earlier kickoff. Liverpool 3-0 up at home to Southampton. Crystal Palace 0, Aston Villa 1, and Norwich 0, Wolves 0. So thank you for running the better poll. Now I can hit Jorginho on that one.
Right, yeah. So
There we go.
What have you done there?
We've got a new poll going.
That
I
is
think
a joke.
I think if it was the Thiago Pogba one, at the moment everyone would just be voting Thiago.
Well,
But
at least
this
De
is a
Bruyne's
really
not in
good
there, so-
question.
De Bruyne wasn't
Maybe-
the first one. They had to change
Yeah,
it.
they had to
They knew
change
he
it,
was gonna
yeah.
win. Right,
So
let's
come on,
talk.
Pogba, people.
Can we talk about Norwich for a moment,
Yep.
please? They got off to a good win last week. They were 1-0 down, weren't they, early on? Or were they
Yeah.
1-0
Yeah,
up?
come back actually. No, they
They
come
were,
back.
they were 1-0 down, weren't they? And
Yep.
obviously Dean Smith's first game in charge since taking over from Aston Villa. They came back with a nice little 2-1 win.
Yes.
You know,
Yep.
finally
First
got.
win.
They had their first back-to-back wins. Obviously, the first one came under Daniel Farke,
Yeah.
right before
And then
he
he
was
got
sacked.
sacked.
Ironically.
Yeah.
But okay, so Dean Smith going from Aston Villa to Norwich, it's. I think that when you sack a manager and like you have like 8 days in between, how can you be refreshed and ready to go at a new club?
It's really hard.
And also the job he's got to do at Norwich,
Yeah.
bottom of the table. Are they? Oh no, sorry, they've come off the bottom of the table
Yeah.
because of Newcastle. But still, pretty damn close to the bottom of the table and in a relegation dogfight themselves. Is he the man to keep them up? Because if he wasn't doing it at Aston Villa, what makes you think you can do it at Norwich?
It's pretty, for me, no disrespect to Norwich fans, but I just can never, ever see them staying up. It doesn't. I
Yeah.
like Dean Smith. I think he's a great
Norwich is
example of
second
English
bottom, by the way.
football.
Second bottom.
it's because we're used to it with
It's-
them.
I think
They just
that's
go
what
up
it is.
and down all the time.
It is.
Yo-yo.
I need to see them stay up first before I can believe that they can stay up. Does that make sense?
Exactly.
Even though Dean Smith is actually, I think, one of the best English managers we've had in a while. He plays really a good style football. I still don't think. I can't see it.
Yeah.
I just can't. I don't know why. I just can't see them.
You know why when you ask that question, why did he come back in 8 days? That just shows that he wasn't happy with maybe the sacking. So it's like a built up like a vengeance of I should not have been sacked. What is going on? Who's giving me a job now? Norwich, I'll take that job. And he just almost was like, right, I need to get back into management
He wants
to
to hit
prove a
back.
point.
Yeah.
And a lot of people, maybe it's just their kind of personality that they don't want to be sat at home, and if everything they know is football. So for me, he's coming there and he knows Norwich going to get relegated. But who's got not a better CV than Dean Smith bringing Aston Villa up from the Championship?
And they
building them
did play good football last year. We
Yeah.
did say
Boss
that.
football.
Yeah.
But if you've just been sacked by another club who's also in not on a good run,
Yeah.
and you're Norwich, and you're thinking, actually, well, I know we've been on a really poor run, but our manager's actually just won our first game. Why'd you trade in for a manager that's just got sacked for not doing his job?
I think
Exactly.
with Farke, it just looked a lot more inevitable that if he was to stay in the role, that they were likely to just go down. The same thing happened the last time. They played good football, but it didn't get them anywhere.
yeah.
And I think with Dean Smith, it's kind of similar because they both do play good brands of football, but it's just, I think with him, it's a case of a bit of Premier League experience plus it's similar brands of football. But other than that, there's not really a lot to it. Like, I do just think with Dean Smith, he was just the first available one
I
there.
agree with it.
There's like a
And-
little bit of a combination of all
Frank
of them.
Lampard, he didn't want it.
No,
I don't think Lampard won. I don't think it'd been the right job for him either. Coming straight off the Chelsea job and all the slander he's got off the way that ended to being relegated with Norwich would have been terrible.
Yeah, he did back out though because they were on him, and then he's like, "Nah, I'll just go to Gary Neville." That thing.
Yeah.
Like, I'd rather do that than go.
Oh, we're talking about Salford.
Yeah,
Yeah, we were just mentioning that team earlier, weren't we?
Yeah.
Yeah, I think Dean Smith is going to do his best job he can at Norwich, and we'll probably see some of the best football we've seen from Norwich for a while.
Yeah.
But I don't think he's going to be able to keep them up because I don't think anyone can at the moment. They,
I genuinely think Norwich fans would take just being in the Championship for the rest of the. Because honestly,
And
I'm
just
not
keep
being
winning it,
disrespectful,
lad, just
but
keep winning it.
Just keep winning it. And
Well,
Yeah.
they've kind of said that before, haven't they? Their owners that, like, they're in the best 23 teams in England, and that's kind of where they're happy with. And it's a bit like, well, if you're going to keep getting relegated every time and then coming straight back up, what's the point? And I used
Yeah.
to feel this way with Fulham. I used to feel this way with West Brom. I used to think, oh
Yeah.
God, really? Like, you're getting promoted again?
Yeah.
Do you
Like,
feel?
it's just, I like to see teams like a Brentford, like a
No, go for
Brentford
it.
that can get promoted. All right, Bournemouth,
Yeah.
teams that haven't been in the Premier League before and that actually come up and kind of give it a go. If they go down, fine. But like these yo-yo clubs that when they come up, they don't do anything.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know what to expect. You're going to go away from home. They're going to put 10 men behind the ball,
Yeah.
and you're literally going to just be sitting there and be like, okay, cool. And you're going to end up probably with a 1-1 draw because of how defensive and tight that they play. And it's boring.
It is, but do you also feel as well that if they keep going down and back up, especially with the amount of money that you get off the Premier League just for being promoted and then from going back down to, eventually you can build a team that's strong enough to actually stay up a little bit longer. That could be what the long-term aim is with Norwich. If I had to take a guess, that's what I think it would be.
Yeah.
They are getting better and better players. Like we talked about Pukki earlier. He's a great little player.
Well,
you
got
say
Todd
this, Cantwell as well.
But the time they came up last time, they looked better than they did this time.
Yeah, they did, and then they petered down.
Yeah.
Didn't they? You know. They just like they just steam and then they go down.
They're better than the Championship, but not good enough to the Premiership.
That's what I said. We need to create
void in this horrible void for their fans. Them poor guys.
We need a league in between. There's been a goal in the Championship. Bournemouth, Eddie Howe's old club, 1-0 up against Coventry. I think we missed another one as well. I think there's been an equaliser at Fulham. And just to run through the scores, again 2-0. Nothing's really changing this afternoon. 2-0 early kickoff for Arsenal against Newcastle. Liverpool 3, Southampton 0. Crystal Palace 0, Aston Villa 1, Norwich 0, Wolves 0. Yes, so Wolves, I have to say, I didn't even realise how high up they were in the table, considering they had a really, rocky start as well. They were playing good football, but they weren't putting the ball in the back of the net. There they are. They're sitting in 6th place currently.
6th place,
20 points.
Is that where they are?
6th,
right?
yeah. They're in
3
6th
points off
place.
top 4.
If
they win
Premier
today,
League,
they're level on points with
Arsenal and West Ham currently. Been a goal in the Championship. Hull City 1, Millwall 1. It's interesting because obviously having Nuno, I know I've now seen how Nuno plays.
Do you want him back, by the way?
No, thank you. No, thank you. I think with Wolves having that again, Nuno brought them up, didn't he? He brought them up, and he was there for such a long time. And I think that we always used to look at Wolves as being like, wow, that's that side plays really good football. They're really attacking. They're strong, things like that. They defend well. But again, things go stale, and that's obviously what happened last season. They didn't look good last season at all. And this Bruno Laga's come in, and again, for the first 3 games, didn't look like it was going to go very well. But again, something's just sparked. Things have clicked into gear. People are playing well. Raul Jimenez getting the goals. I'm happy for them.
Yeah, it's nice they play that Portuguese style of football, don't they?
Yeah, they love Portugal, don't they?
You've never ever seen a Portugal lad be bad at football ever. Every single Portuguese fella you'll meet will be good at football, and he's just tapping into that philosophy of their country and just bringing in that all them Portuguese. Diogo Jota, Portuguese. Like, honestly, I used to love watching play. Yeah, I used to love watching these guys play football, so it's nice to see them do well. And again, it's just testament to the Premier League. Premier League is the best league in the world, and that's why teams like Norwich can't just come up and stay up, because you've got teams like Wolves and Villa and Palace that are like, you aren't going to beat us easily.
There's
like,
so many banana slips in the
It
really is.
They play with the big clubs and they beat them. They do. Aston Villa beat Liverpool 7-2 last season.
I remember. We all remember
So
that game.
enjoyed that one as well.
There's been a goal in League 2, Salford City 1, Oldham 0. You are completely correct, and that's the thing. Like when when we were all growing up, we're all of like a similar age. That it used to be United, Chelsea, Arsenal, Liverpool. That was your standard top 4, and then you had the likes of the Spurs and Everton that were kind of like trying to get in and break it. Man City wasn't really a thing until like we were like later.
Abbi, you're gonna cause a little storm here.
They weren't a thing until the later years of like my teens anyway. They weren't a thing,
same.
And I think that's what's so good about it now, in the sense that it is so competitive. Not just that the top 4 kind of branching out to like a top 6, top 7 teams that you were looking at all the time. But now you look at I'd say the top 10. You look at the Leicesters that are involved. You look at a Wolves. You can look at a Villa.
Absolutely.
And that's what makes it. That's what and a Crystal Palace. I know they're obviously
especially the money
moment,
they're spending Abbi as well.
Yeah,
it's big money in the Premier League, and they're all seem to
West
invest
Ham.
really
Sorry,
well.
I didn't even include West Ham in that. And I didn't include. Did I say an Arsenal as well?
I'm gonna have to go the Lou guys out the back in a moment.
Right, drop out. Go for it. Yeah, and that is exactly the point. That it's so incredibly competitive now, and that's something that we should be excited about, don't you think?
Yeah, definitely. It just adds to the competitiveness of the Premier League, and that's why everyone calls it the most entertaining league in the world, because it's not like, let's say, La Liga, for example, where even if we do say La Liga, it's got a bit more competitive in recent years, but over the last 5-6 years, it used to just be like the Liga would be dominated by 2 teams, Serie A would just be Juventus, the Bundesliga would be, and it kind of still is, just Bayern Munich,
or Dortmund.
Liga is just PSG. Meanwhile, the Premier League, it was always either a group of 4, now it's a group of 6. Now it's just a case of like anybody, if they're on good enough form and their team's strong enough, they could go as high as possible.
Yeah, And we've seen it as well with when Leicester won the league, and everyone was so excited about the fact that Leicester were going to win the league because it gave something that was different. We were so used to just seeing it go back and forth between Manchester and Chelsea. Liverpool weren't doing it then, so it was something different to see and to look forward to. Actually having that something a little bit different. Are we almost at half time now?
I think
they're all at half time.
Are we
all
all
half
at
time?
half time?
Yep.
We are all at half time. So shall we run through these scores?
Yep, we shall do.
Let's get those up and ready.
Interesting developments. Liverpool, obviously, as you can see, firing 3-0 goals, courtesy of Diogo Jota in the 2nd minute. Diogo Jota again in the 32nd minute, and in the 37th minute, Thiago Alcantara with the 3rd goal. So Southampton all to play for. I think for me, they look down and out. I think it could get even a damage limitation second half, to be honest with you. Crystal Palace, Aston Villa are 1-0 up, courtesy of Matt Target. And guess who got the assist? Ashley Young.
Come on, Ashley Young with the assist.
Still doing well. He's about 35, and he's still
hanging
doing
on for
bits.
dear life.
You know what I mean?
You guys should bring him back.
Yeah, well, listen, Lewis, you know what I mean? Shush. Norwich versus Wolves is 0-0. Not much going on here. It's 7 shots on to Wolves is 3 and 2 on target for Norwich. So, not very much going over there.
Right, on to the Championship. Early kickoff, or yesterday, actually I think it was yesterday, was Preston versus Fulham. Birmingham 0, Blackpool 0, Bournemouth 1, Coventry 0, Huddersfield 0, Middlesbrough 2, Hull 1, Millwall 1, Luton 0, Cardiff 1, Peterborough 0, Barnsley 0, Stoke 0, Blackburn 0, Swansea 1, Reading 2.
Yep, and in League One, we have AFC Wimbledon 0, Fleetwood Town 1, Bolton Wanderers 1, Cheltenham Town 2, Burton Albion 0, Doncaster Rovers 0, Cambridge United 1, Sunderland 2, Gillingham and Portsmouth 0-0, Morecambe 0, Milton Keynes 2, Oxford United and Rotherham 0-0, Plymouth Argyle Wigan Athletic 1-1, Sheffield United 0, Wycombe Wanderers 1, Shrewsbury Town 0, Charlton Athletic 0, Lincoln Town 0, Accrington Stanley, who are they?
Accrington Stanley, who are they? And League 2, Carlisle 0.
You got to finish off.
What?
Exactly.
Yeah.
There you go.
Thank you.
We can't just finish it off.
Right, League 2, Carlisle 0, Walsall 0, Crawley 0, Mansfield 1, Forest Green 1, Bristol Rovers 0, Northampton 1, Leyton Orient 0, Port Vale 1, Hartlepool 0, Rochdale 0, Exeter 0, Salford 1, Oldham 0, Scunthorpe 1, Bradford 0, Saturn United 1, Barrow 0, Swindon 0, Harrogate 1, Tranmere and Stevenage has been postponed due to adverse weather. Right, we're going to be back after this short break. Parisian Londoner has got you in the chat and he wants to ask you a question.
Okay.
But we will be back after this short break, and Parisian, we will be reading that out.
Yes! Go on, do so! Go on, do so! What are you doing here, man?
What are you doing here?
You get me? What the fuck?
No, he's done.
People that come at us and say F1 is boring, they don't watch it, clearly.
So we're at the best stadium in the whole of the Premier League.
What are you laughing at?
Smoking on your tears, fam. You know that way there.
And we are, of course, back. So, Parisian Londoner has said, because we have to start off with him, obviously. Saeed, are you happy with the granddad coach and more interested in the consulting services and restoring the pride to your team? Hello to you too, Parisian.
Hello, lads.
Yeah, Brazilian. We're not mates anymore now. Listen, you know why he said that? Because he wanted Pochettino to take it off their hands.
Yeah.
So, listen, Parisian London, enjoy. You know what I mean? The so-called bottler. But yeah, enjoy.
Wow.
I'm only joking.
I will not have this disrespect. I didn't hear what Parisian said. What did he say after the game?
No, he just said, he was saying like, in around that time, he was like, oh, you know, because they were about to get Zidane and they were excited for Zidane, and obviously they thought Pochettino to United and it makes sense. So, nah, mate, listen, you hold it for now. We want to know what he does with your squad first before you give it to us.
Lad, he hasn't even moved to Paris. He's kept his house in London.
He's going to keep his house.
He doesn't want to move to Paris, and that's a big. I was talking to the lads the other day in the stream, a few PSG fans, Parisian Londoners mates. And they told me that he hasn't even moved to Paris, lads.
I know he does. I think he does live in Paris, but he lives in a hotel. But Jose Mourinho lived at the Lowry for 3 years with Manchester United. Managers do it, you know. Managers do it, and I'm sure all the coaching staff and whatnot are all living in Paris as well.
I mean, I get it, but also if you don't move there, that is a little bit of a statement in my mind. Imagine Gerrard never moved to Scotland. I was like, you know what, I'll stay in Liverpool and just transfer.
Yeah, but he has moved there because he has to live there and he goes to work every day. He just hasn't bought a house there.
Poch.
Yeah, but that's what I'm saying. Poch does live there. He just still has his house here. His wife and one of his sons live here because his son plays for Watford.
Okay.
There we go. Yeah, see?
Football, yeah, but he could play for PSG kids, you know what I mean?
Well, no.
Maybe not good for
maybe
it.
Not, maybe not.
Maybe not good for it. Maybe there's a reason.
I reckon PSG doesn't have much of an academy, to be fair, when you go and buy everything.
No, you're absolutely spot on there.
There's probably not much investment in there. But yes, anyway, I think that's probably the reason why. These games so far this afternoon, there hasn't been really anything stand out apart from the fact that Liverpool are 3-0 up. Aston Villa again 1-0 away from home. It's a good start. Let's see what happened in the second half. I'm hoping for some more goals. I'm hoping for some more excitement. When you think last week we had so many good games and goals.
Free frees. You know, obviously United was crazy.
We had 2 3-3s. We had a 4. We had a 4-1. What else did we have last week? A 2-1. A 2-0.
Liverpool was 4-0 after that as well.
After that, it was an amazing day of football. That was
30-something goals scored. I think it was. It was ridiculous.
How's everyone's predictions without saying what they are? Are they on the right track?
Spicily good. I'll say that.
Yeah, I'm looking decent.
I'm looking spot on, me.
Spot on.
I'm not. I'm only looking decent on one.
We should have a leadership table or leaderboard
We should.
table.
We'll make sure that we actually get that in place for next week's show.
And we get a prize or something at the end.
We can definitely do that. Diogo Jota coming through with 2 goals today.
Boss.
Do you think that's one of the best signings you've made?
Yeah, we're consistent at these. I think Liverpool go under the radar for signing great players. We do have every team has the few of them that don't really do that well, but the majority of our signings, we come in but hit the ground running. Diogo Jota scored in his first game and has just continued to score since. Like, he's a fantastic little footballer, and I said it. It's gone under the radar because everyone thought Raul Jimenez was Wolves, and he still is. But Diogo Jota must have had a massive impact. It wasn't just all Raul. So him coming into this Liverpool team with Bobby, Salah and Mane and making his mark, that is a true statement of the type of player he is. I also think he's bought into Klopp's philosophy. He likes to run. You can tell he presses all the time. He works hard. I think he's honestly one of the best signings we've made in years for so cheap, 40 mil.
Yeah.
Do you know, like, we do it consistently though. Mo Salah was 30, Mane was 30, Diogo Jota 40. It's like we're really good at that.
But you do make good signings. It's nothing like that's going to break the bank. It's always just good under the radar signings. And I guess the thing is, when you do join Liverpool, you have to kind of buy into what they're selling because you see what obviously Klopp has done.
He's happy to take a back step as well. So he come into that team knowing that front three are one of the best in the world, and he's not necessarily just going to be played every game. He's not. And he come in and he's proved himself. And it's like what Lewis said earlier about Mo Salah and the contract thing. It's almost like a game when you come into a new club, you've got to prove yourself, especially when you've got the caliber player. And I feel like when you go to bigger clubs, what happens is your ceiling for potential all of a sudden just goes boom. And if you're a good enough player, you can rise to that. And that's what Diogo Jota's done.
So who would be your front three?
Right now, I'd still always have Bobby, Mane and Salah, but you'd always alternate Bobby and Jota. Like, maybe start Bobby in one game and then take him off 60th minute, bring Jota on.
To win big trophies, you need to kind of like, swap and change.
Yeah, exactly.
Have that piece of the puzzle that you want to do.
You've seen it with Firmino. I know it wasn't kind of a reason why he was injured, but you never know, it could have been a factor.
Yeah.
Playing consistently and just, because it was a muscular injury or...
I don't even know what type of injury it was, but he's been out for a bit now. But
I
love Bobby. We do love Bobby. He was fundamental in our developments for them from free. Like, he was the reason why Salah and Mane were scoring so many goals, and he still is, right? But now Diogo Jota is a different element, isn't he?
Yeah,
he's like a different type of player, but he still fits in just as well. They're all just a very dynamic. What do you call four? What would you call four? Quadruple.
Quadruple.
The quadruple.
Yeah.
It's like, I'd say dynamic trio with the front three, but then there's 4 of them, so a dynamic quadruple.
Dynamic quadruple. Right. We are gonna move on to Chelsea very, very soon, which you must be chomping at the bit to start talking about.
Yes, not as much as last week, but I'm still ready. I'm looking forward to it.
Still sitting on ready. Let's discuss the Champions League first of all, because I mean you just brushed Juventus aside like they weren't there. Which is scary.
Tuchel be like that sometimes.
Yeah. It is scary how good Chelsea are, not just defensively, right, but up front, and also you've had injuries, and it's made absolutely no difference.
This is the thing, for most clubs this would be an injury crisis right now. You lose one of your left wing back and one of your most vital players this season. You've lost 2 of our strikers, and you haven't even noticed the difference. You've actually been playing better, and that's just Thomas Tuchel for you. Like, I've already talked about his game management, how he sets up his teams perfectly, and I've already spoken about the managers as well. Like, we faced Klopp, we faced Mourinho, we faced Allegri, we faced Guardiola 3 times, we faced Zidane, Simeone. Rangnick will come, don't worry, we're going to win the league on his head at the end of the season. That's all fine. But regardless of that, we faced everybody. And we just made it look easy. Like, Juventus, they're a really good side, regardless of their form in Serie A and everything like that. They're a brilliant side. And we made them look average, and it's not the first time we've done this to a great footballing team before. Real Madrid, second leg, should have been 6-0. Guardiola, he wasn't able to touch us 3 games in a row.
Let me ask you a question, Lewis. Is Tuchel the best manager in the world right now?
Yes. Right now, I won't even stutter on that.
I'd say it's hard to disagree with it when you look at what he's done.
But I won't say he's like outright clear of everybody, because there are great managers, Klopp, Guardiola, Mancini, for example. But if you're going to ask the best right now, and in terms of what they've done this year, how could it not be Tuchel?
100%. And the thing is, I think a lot of people will say, until he came to the Premier League, you know, when he was at PSG, and you thought, my God, if this guy can't do it at PSG, like, how crap must you be? And then you see, obviously, there's many problems that go on at PSG. And he comes in, and I think, like, people thought, well, who is this guy? Like, he's not proven here, like, whatever. And I don't think in your wildest dreams you would have expected Tuchel to come in and do what he did in the time frame that he did.
Nope.
And literally, you are defensively solid. You are up. You score goals. You score goals from every area on the pitch. He's like, and you don't concede, like, which is the hardest thing in football to not do. You don't concede goals.
That's the most dangerous thing about Chelsea for me. It's the fact that as soon as we score a goal, that's it. You're not breaking them down. Like, everyone says we sit deep and we have 7 men at the back. No, once we score, we start playing like that. And then you guys are going to see not even defensive football. Like, you're going to see how hard it is to try and break us down. But that's Thomas Tuchel's system for you. And that's why we're firing on all cylinders defensively and offensively. And again, that's why Tuchel's the best manager in the world right now. You can't pick anyone else over him.
For me, it's not like what you said about Dean Smith as well, coming into Norwich for that like little bit of revenge to come back and be like, actually, I'm a good manager, take me seriously. I feel like that's what Tuchel's done. He's been to PSG, had a bad time there, and then went, no, I'm a very good manager. Let me go and get revenge with Chelsea.
That's why he accepted the Chelsea job, because like one of the biggest talking points about Tuchel when he was first rumoured with the job was, okay, he's fell out with the Dortmund board, he's fell out with the PSG board. What makes you think he's even going to last 4 months under Abramovich on our board? And that's exactly what he said to himself too. But then he saw the critics about him. He also saw the job that was on hand with him too, and he said, I can't really say no to an opportunity like this. If I get sacked, I get sacked. But let me see what I can do with this squad. He likes the team. He thinks there's a lot that he could do with it. So he thought, let me just take the opportunity at hand. And that's the sort of manager that he is. I don't think he looks at any situation and gets worried or angry about it. He just sees it as a situation he has to overcome. And it's that sort of mindset that I think that's so key to this team too. It's about just taking any situation that faces you and just overcoming it. And that's exactly what Tuchel's all about.
That was powerful.
That was a very powerful speech,
That was a very, very powerful speech. I was engrossed
Watch about
in that.
6 of his press conferences. You're going to start talking like that.
I was engrossed by that. I really was.
I'll be speaking like that soon as well. You know.
Ben Antonio said Tuchel is a great manager, but he has a fantastic squad as well.
It's a bit harsh, that.
No, I agree with the squad, but what did the squad look like under Lampard? What did the likes of Jorginho, Kovacic, Kante, Christensen, all look like under him? And then Thomas Tuchel comes, and after 6 months, they all look world class. Jorginho's being shouted for the Ballon d'Or. Like, all Jorginho fans have all known what his quality is. And you could say, like, yeah, we're a bit loud right now. The reason why we're so loud is because of the amount of slander that this guy has got and the amount and how underappreciated he's been. And Thomas Tuchel's finally been able to show his true qualities. It's the same for a lot of these players. And it's all been about having a serious coach underneath them. You guys are going to notice this with Rangnick. Because I said your squad was sleeping giants from the start.
Yeah, we are.
That's why I didn't trust Manchester United in any sort of game, because Ollie was your manager. The players like Maguire, Lindelof, let's say McTominay, they all look dead because they're under Ollie. When they're under Rangnick, give them 6 months, and I hate to say it, but they're going to be a good squad.
Did we have a chat the first game of the season when you played, was it Leeds on the opening day? Were you here?
No, I don't think so.
I can't remember who was here. Someone, I can't remember.
Maybe Aaron.
Maybe it was Aaron that was here.
Yeah, Aaron, yeah.
And I said to Aaron, I said, you know, look at your squad, look at all the money you've spent, the squad you've assembled now. United fans can't sit there and say you're not going to challenge for the title. And he was like, I don't want to say it. And I was like, why don't you want to say it? And he was like, I said, is it because of Ollie? You don't back your manager? He said, I just still think we're far away from it. And I was like, you can't sit and say that your squad is far away from it, because your squad on paper is one of the top 3 probably.
But that shows you
squads in
that
the
you
league.
have to have a manager who can assemble it together and make it work, because, you know, you're looking at Galacticos, you know, they didn't win they won one trophy, didn't they?
One of the guys said, I think in one of the comments a few streams ago, they said good managers make bad players look good, and bad managers make good players look bad. The coach is the most fundamental part of a team. He implements everything into how they play, the structure of the team, the way they feel as people, and like not just as players, like as people. Like he's got to believe in these players and make them feel nice and good, and he's like they're wanted and, you know, they're looked after in this club. And there's so much more to management than just tactics and whatever else. And these 3 managers, Tuchel, Guardiola, Klopp, are currently like Gerrard, Scholes and Lampard. They're all so good, you can't really pick one of them. They've all got their own styles and they're all big personalities, and we're all very lucky to have them in the Premier League today, because we have got some of the best football that we've ever seen.
Oh, we actually are. And so much success as well. It's coming on trophies. And
it's really good.
By far, I think the Premier League is the best in Europe.
Easily.
I think when you see in the Champions League, you know, the English clubs are just so dominant. Really, really dominant. I would say in the Europa League and Europa League
I was about to say that
as well. But I think Spurs are the only team that are actually not top of their respective group. Anyway, so we are back underway in all of those games. Just to let you guys know, we ran a poll earlier of our little debate, Pogba versus Jorginho, and unfortunately, Paul Pogba has come out on top with 59%
Abbi, have you got a Pogba agenda?
I don't have a Pogba agenda.
You got a Jorginho agenda.
Well,
That's cool.
I think that Jorginho probably deserves it more than Pogba based on what I've seen in the last season, 2 seasons. Look, I don't have any problem with Paul Pogba. I think he's a fantastic footballer. I would say that I like consistency. Funny supporting Spurs, but I like consistency from players, especially with that type of a price tag and that type of an attitude. And I think for me...
What attitude?
I think that he doesn't. I think he has hindered Manchester United at times.
He's got a big personality. He definitely affects the players.
I think he has hindered Manchester United at times.
The same way that when he plays for France, he has a massive positive impact on players.
I get that, but I don't. He's actually, for me, spot on. He's always willing to train.
I'm not saying he's not willing to train, but I'm saying you don't think that over the course of the time he's been there, even going back to the stuff with Mourinho, you don't think that he has hindered Manchester United at times?
No, because one player
and made it a bit
hinder.
of a media circus. You don't.
No, honestly, I firmly, and I'm quite surprised, because for me, he's always been very, 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 very professional in what he does. He's always willing to give 100%. I think for me, a lot of things around him have been from his agent, not from him.
Okay.
And what I've heard from people close to him is that he doesn't really have the say in what his agent says. You know, he comes out and says very, very kind of like crazy things. For me, I think Pogba's been a good professional. It's just that United haven't got the best out of him, rather than he's not got the best at United. I think they've not... Because when he came to the football club, he had Michael Carrick, Fellaini. It's only now that he's got his good squad here, but now he wants to leave because his contract's expiring, so...
I think the friction between him and Jose Mourinho, the English media, players hate it.
They
really do, because the English media inflate and make everything bigger than it is, and they always do it. And they always do it to players like Paul Pogba or Raheem Sterling and all these type of guys that they just pick on a little bit. But I definitely do, having said that, think that Pogba has a massive impact on the players around him.
Oh my days.
4-0.
It's
Liverpool.
4-0.
Liverpool FC.
Wait, is there no goal?
Hey, there's no goal scorer, We'll have that. I hope it's Diogo Jota, but it looks like it's an own goal.
There's also been a goal in the Championship, Swansea 2, Reading 2.
This could be another 9.
You know what?
Could you imagine?
Just imagine that.
Will he survive another 9?
Oh, that was a
question.
hat-trick.
He
survived the
that would
second,
be a
didn't
bit heavy.
Let's see who the goal scorer is, and it is
Oh,
Virgil
Van Dijk.
Virgil van
lads.
Dijk.
Yeah, ironic.
Do you know what I
Yeah,
hope
That'll be
it
a
is?
Trent assist too.
I hope
It's a
so.
Trent assist.
Yeah, he was.
Defo off the corner,
Good
innit?
lad. I wish I'm throwing you a little spud over there, lad.
The amount of assists that he's got is...
He's a joke, lad.
you know what I
Honestly,
mean?
it's like he's
crazy.
got 3 eyeballs, lad. He's got one in the back of his head and 2 in the front, lad, and he can just see everything.
See everything. The
'Cause
way
yeah, honestly, it's got a bit. But his mind for the pitch and the game and the way it plays is just. He's so young. How
And
that
what's
good?
mental is that the people were saying that he shouldn't have been in that in the
England
in
squad.
the
That
England
is
squad.
ridiculous.
And people having
honestly.
full-on rows about whether or not Trent should be in the squad. Like,
Who's the best right back in the league?
Oh, there is no. Oh, this is
Well,
hard.
You know, that'll be a good
we
poll.
spoke
That'll be a good
about
poll.
this on
yeah,
Tuesday.
let's run that poll. Best right back in the
I
league.
think it's James.
You've got James, Cancelo, and Trent, haven't you?
Here's the
Yeah,
thing,
but
even
not
on
like- yeah.
form, it's so hard to say right now. That's why, like, we were speaking about this on the Liverpool
Yeah, we
stream
were.
on Tuesday. I don't really want to have the debate
It's
because
not
it
fair,
just
is it?
invites slander on the other two. When
Yeah.
Cancelo, Reece James, Trent Alexander-Arnold, they're all in such good form right
Yeah.
now. It's like, I want to just sit back and enjoy it.
Yeah.
I mean,
Yeah.
Reece James is absolutely
He's
Yeah.
quality.
incredible.
He
And
is.
we're spoiled for right backs.
Do you know-
We're absolutely spoiled for them.
Yeah.
The only thing I'd say is they've all got different styles of defending.
Yeah.
And I said this on the stream last time. I said Cancelo and James are proper fullbacks. Their defending is quality as well as their attacking.
Kyle Walker,
Yeah, Kyle
having
Walker.
that
Kyle
noted.
Walker, yeah.
But if you put Trent in centre mid, he'd do a good job. And I don't feel like the other lads, if you put them in centre mid, could do the job that he could. Just simply because of that map of the pitch in Trent's brain, just seems to be so mature. He plays like a Pirlo at 32 who knows where everyone's going to be. It's just he's incredible, honestly. It's so nice to see a Scouser as well. A young Scouse lad come through in the Liverpool team. And, like Gerrard, it's the second coming of like the Scouse.
Yeah.
Love it.
There has been a goal, Hull City 2, Millwall 1. We've got some super chats. Hold on, the first one was AFC Max, who said, big up the panel. Just so you know, I predicted a 2-0 Arsenal win and was right with LFC score 3-0 win. Then Van Dijk ruined it. Boo, Lewis, favourite CFC fan. There we go, that's
Big up
nice.
yourself, man.
And another one from M, who said, Abby, does Luke Shaw have attitude problems? He's been inconsistent, had a few with Mourinho, but never heard you say he's got attitude issues. Do I think he's got attitude issues, Luke Shaw? I think he had confidence issues. Maybe Paul Pogba suffered from the same, again, under Jose Mourinho.
Yeah.
But there's not so much hype over,
That
things
could be
because...
another way to look at it with Pogba, to be fair.
Yeah,
Confidence,
it
that's
could be
that, mate, yeah.
confidence issues, but I think that, because of all the stuff that surrounds Pogba with Mino Raiola and things like that, I think you hear about it a lot more than Luke Shaw, and it gets a lot more publicised than that. But like I said, I think Paul Pogba is a fantastic player. I just think for the money that United spent on him and the expectation that came with him, I always wanted more from Paul Pogba, personally.
I get that.
Personally.
I understand that.
I
one.
didn't expect too much from Luke Shaw.
Yeah,
That's true. And the fact that he had such a great Euros was incredible, but we've seen again that Euro drop of like many players.
That's the thing. Pogba's always threatened to be the player that he is at France. It's just we barely see it at United, and that's why there's always so many questions about it.
Oh my God. I'm so sorry to interrupt you. Guys in the back who've just started this poll, can you take Tomiyasu out of that, please? That is
You tried this shit last week and you're trying it again.
Can I just tell you, they've left out Cancelo and put in Tommy. Take that out and redo that poem medium. I'm not even reading that out. That is disgraceful.
Oh,
Absolutely
my days.
shameless in the back room there, guys.
Crazy.
Absolutely
Shameless crew around there.
Shameless.
Tomiyasu.
Right, just to run through some Premier League scores. I can't believe you've had the audacity to do that.
Might as well added Wan-Bissaka in there.
Just for the banter. Right, Arsenal 2-0 Newcastle, Liverpool 4-0 up at home to Southampton, Crystal Palace 0, Aston Villa 1-0 up against them, and Norwich 0, Wolves 0, nothing gone in that game at all. Just having a look through some of your chats. I'm waiting for the new poll to come up because that is absolute. Yeah, it better be coming because that is just mental.
I think James, in terms of, for me, nothing against Trent. I just think overall, in terms of attacking, defensive, intelligence, I think that James has it for me. Because you look at James, he's dropping into midfield. He's picking up positions, and he's scoring goals. Okay, Trent's getting assists, but he's getting as well assists.
I think the competition's also getting the best out of each other as well, because
massively.
Trent's got better defensively over the last year. Reece James
Same age
got
as
a
well,
lot
innit?
better going forward as well.
Lads, are they? How old's Saul Cancelo?
He's 26.
26.
Oh,
Yeah, he's
so
a bit
little
older.
bit older than the younger lads. Okay.
But
This will be like the modern day Lampard Gerrard debate.
Yeah, it will be actually.
Give it all. Come on, man, guys. But let's not get too excited.
Livramento is a right back. Is he right back?
Yes, I'm trying to think if he plays both positions though, but he mainly plays right back.
Mainly plays right back. We've got such an abundance of good English right backs as well. Obviously taking.
It'll be like the Evra versus Ashley Cole debate, back in the day.
Yeah.
We say, who would you rather have, Evra or Ashley Cole? You know what I mean?
Both.
Yeah, both of them, if possible.
Definitely. It's going to be. I
James
look
and Trent
forward.
for England. Imagine that on the both wings. They'd be insane.
But then where do you put Carl Walker? Carl Walker
I know,
is so
'cause he's
good.
quality.
The recoveries he does.
Exactly.
Gareth Southgate, mates, don't envy you.
No, it's
That's why Gareth Southgate this summer was doing all
tournament
this
football.
rubbish, like playing like 6 of them in the back, because he was like, when you
just
have
trying
like
to
on
put all of
FIFA,
them in
right?
the team.
and
Yeah.
when you play on FIFA and you have so many players on your team, but you just want to play all of them
'Cause they're so
you end up like playing in midfield. It's like a draft, isn't it?
Yeah, like
one of
Ultimate Team or something.
Yeah, it's crazy.
We've
Neymar
got
at left back.
lots of people saying,
Honestly.
lots of people in the chat going mad that Tommy Asso was even put in that poll, which is crazy. Someone said, can you ask the panel, that was from Noah, who said, question for the panel, is Arteta finding his feet? I'd say yes.
Yes.
Yeah, I don't know.
But I already said from the start of the season the lack of Champions League football would help Arsenal. And I'm not saying that as an excuse to Arteta, because I just think it aids him and it helps the team too, because they need to grow. It's a very young side. They need to grow slowly. And I think having no European football helps them as well. So it's not a bad thing, but it's a reason for why Arsenal are doing so well too.
But you have to realise you just can't get too giddy. Because I get giddy.
Someone said, Tommy Asso has to be up there. Come on, this is absolutely outrageous. We're
Come
one of the
on,
best
man.
in the league. This is just stupid.
You know what, though,
chat.
to be fair, though, he has done well. He has done well. First
He
season.
has done well.
Yeah.
You can't have a poll in the
Not
same
yet,
breath.
like, you know.
It's talking about Cancelo, or it's about Walker, or Reece
Yeah,
James,
true.
or talking about Alexander-Arnold. You've got to know your place. That's like me saying put Emerson Royale in there. Are you mad? Like, it's just a stupid...
He's rubbish anyway, isn't it?
This is stupid. Anyway, let's preview the Chelsea game. Obviously, Chelsea versus Manchester United tomorrow.
Big game. Big game.
Very
even the
exciting.
Managerial.
Who should we start with?
Go on, champions.
Come on,
innit?
we'll go champions of Europe.
Future
All right,
champions.
cool.
Let's
go
see. How
champion.
do you see this game going? I mean, Ralph isn't there, but maybe the new bounce Ralph energy is there.
Maybe in the fans, but like in the players, I'm not too sure. If anything, I think you guys could get a bit complacent as a result. You just want to
true.
get to next week and get to Ralph Rangnick and the Arsenal game and the first little hints of Rangnick ball or whatever you guys are going to call it. But
I'm waiting for that name.
when it comes to United, like, I don't really know what to expect with them. Like, no one else really has. You remember the Pep press conference of one De Bruyne had was like, Pep said he literally doesn't know what to expect from United and they trained for like 10 minutes. I feel like it could be something similar in this sort of aspect. But for us, it's just beat Manchester United, because you haven't beaten you lot in the league since 2017. I don't even know how we've got to that. I know.
And before that,
2017, you know.
What the whole Ole run?
And before that, they never won at our
know.
ground.
Since
never
Chicharito.
once.
Since
Yeah.
Chicharito.
And then
Wow,
Ole came
really?
in.
Yeah, we haven't won. We didn't win since Chicharito until 2017.
And
then you
even
haven't won.
that win was a load of bollocks.
Nah,
so let's
come
not
on,
go
man.
into
You
it.
guys
What do you
are-
mean? He was so offside.
Nah,
he was in
man,
the goal
come on,
line.
man.
This guy was behind the net
No,
when the ball
mate.
was. Let me not get angry about a match.
Fernando Torres had a nightmare. That's all we
Chelsea
can
should
say.
be all over Manchester United. Like, the only thing that worries me is Ben Chilwell's injury and the fact we're going to have Marcus Alonso or maybe even Saul playing left wing back. I have no idea.
I want to talk to you about
Saul,
Saul. There's been a goal, League One, Burton Albion 1, Doncaster 0, Rochdale 0, Exeter away from home again, winning 1-0. Saul, because he came in, he played, one game in the start of the season, and there was
It was a horrendous game.
Wasn't there
to be
talk
fair.
about his loan being terminated and him going
No,
back?
there was rumours, but just paper rumours. I don't think that's going to happen. But Saul came in, he had a really bad match against Aston Villa, but it was clear he just needed to adjust. Like, he was taking the game so slowly and everything, and it just looked like he still thought he was La Liga. And that will come, like, it is what it is. But I don't think we predicted how good Loftus-Cheek and Ross Barkley were going to be, and he's just fallen to the bottom of the pecking order, and you've just barely seen him since. He is a versatile player, which is why a lot of people are talking about him playing at left wing back for this game. I personally have to see it first. I can't give you a single thing about Saul at left wing back. I have no idea what.
Is he the most
expect from him.
pointless signing you reckon ever in the Premier League?
I think
Not
it's
really, because we needed the depth.
No, but it's true though.
No, we needed the depth at the time.
Ben
It's
Davis,
just
lad.
we expected Ruben and Barkley to be behind it, but Ruben's come in and he's just been utterly ridiculous.
Yeah, it's nice
this
to see,
season.
actually. It is good
And
to see.
Ross Barkley, he's a brilliant impact sub, which I never thought I'd even say with him.
Yeah.
You bring him on the last 20 minutes, he always seems to do something.
But actually, lad.
So now, like, every player, every midfielder in our team has a purpose, except for Saul.
Yeah.
And because he's not even our player, we don't really know what to do with him. So
Yeah.
he's just here on vacation.
Yeah, that's true. Sheffield Wednesday 2, Wycombe 1. I think it's a shame though, because when you see players that are like so in form and having an unbelievable season like last year, like Sal did, and then to come here, isn't he in Atletico like that was his?
Yeah, like
That
I
was-
think
that
he's,
was his team,
has he
right?
been there
Like-
from the start? I know he's been there for like
and
the last
I'm
8
I
years.
was going to say,
at
I'm sure that is actually his team. I could be wrong, but I think that actually
Yeah.
is his team.
Yeah.
And like to make that move and come to Chelsea, obviously, and it was like deadline day, like mad rush, wasn't it? The last one of the last things of the day. Do you think that like players do get to places and think, oh, I wish I would have just stayed where I was?
Grass isn't green here.
I don't know, because like, I know with the last year or two for Saul at Let's Go, they were playing him out of position a lot, and he wanted to be playing more in centre mid, which I think is even going to be more annoying if we just throw him at left wing back for this game too. But it's the situation that we're in. But I think with him, I don't know, like he's just been very unlucky because he's come in, he was meant to have a fresh start here, he was meant to rebuild his name and everything.
Oh, look who's walked in. Oh, you beat the bottom of the table side. Congratulations.
and everything.
And the Don Robbie
They
has
should have
walked
got
in
a
the
penalty in
building.
Newcastle, but you know.
He has walked in the building. Would you like to come say hi? Or are you just going to stand and gloat in the corner?
Little wiggle.
Bye, Rob.
Big up yourself.
Arteta
Bye.
in, man. Give Arteta a new contract.
All right,
That's what we
cool.
want.
Okay. Rob's going to come back in about 5 minutes' time after he gets over beating bottom of the table Newcastle United. Sorry, carry on, Lewis.
Yeah, with Sal, everything's just been really unlucky with him. If he plays against United, like I hope he has a good game because it would start building up his stock a little bit. But it has been a bit of a drop for him. Like I remember back in like 2017 or 18, something like that. You guys were interested in him. I think they put him up for like
Even
100
this
plus
season?
million.
Even this season, we wanted them, lads. I remember when he went to Chelsea, everyone was like, "Oh, that's another fantastic player that they just added to their arsenal." And we were looking at him before you got to him, and then you snapped him up, and I was like, Chelsea is just going to win the league again. But he hasn't.
We haven't even got the chance to realise his potential
Sometimes
yet.
it just doesn't fit.
FA Cup's coming up
Doesn't
now, you know. FA Cup.
I mean, we're
Okay,
still
so-
in the League Cup. You could give him a run against
I reckon,
Brentford.
that's
Yeah.
what he needs, something like that, doesn't he? Get his confidence up.
Something like that, because sometimes it could just spark into something. But if not, I think that he'd probably be better off just going back home.
He would be, but I think it's just going to be a vacation for him, is what it is.
It is what it is. Right, Saeed,
Yep.
United. How do you see that going tomorrow, please?
You know
Tell me
what?
your
I'm
thoughts.
stuck between it's a free hit and we need the points, because I say that because when I look at United under Carrick, is there a pressure for him to get the 3 points? You know, he's a caretaker. And then you look at us, if we don't win the game, we're 6 points behind Arsenal. We're already 2 behind you guys. You play
I
tomorrow.
wouldn't worry about us, hon.
But, you know, we got to, even though Tottenham are irrelevant, but, you know, you got to kind of like put them in there. And I just think for me, we've got to kind of get a result tomorrow. But I don't know, man. I just think of it, you know, if we lose this game, it's peak, man.
Don't worry, it's 12v11, so you guys should be fine.
Sorry?
It's 12v11 tomorrow.
What do you
Who's
mean
the
12
Is the
Anthony
ma- is
Taylor.
the- I knew.
I
knew that was
You're
coming,
outnumbered
you know.
anyway.
Here we go.
Do you expect? Well, actually, I'm going to ask you this question: if United lose to both Chelsea and Arsenal, you'll be 9 points below Arsenal.
Rangnick out.
Crazy.
Which
Mind blown about that.
mind blown, considering that Arsenal were rock bottom as well.
You know what
of
it
the
is?
league
It
at
just
one
makes me more angry, Abby, because, you know, we should have sacked Ole after the Liverpool game.
Yeah.
You know, and that for me, what hurts me, because, you know, it's damage limitations. We went to Watford, the players were not really kind of feeling it, and it was just a mess. We went to Man City, a mess. And it's like almost a case of, I feel sorry for Ralph Rangnick, because he's expected to get top 4, which is the lowest demand from Man United. If you know, it's unheard of United again in the Europa League, or what's the other one called? Europa
Conference League.
Yeah.
League. Say it with your chest.
Yeah, I didn't know it was.
I love that you didn't even know the name. Oh my
No, but honestly,
days.
I forgot the name. But like, you know, we have to get top 4, and you know, unless I know we've got a good run of fixtures, and I think the comments will tell me that we've got Brighton at home, Brentford away. Is that an easy one? Brighton, you never know on their day, so it has to be kind of hit the ground running. And tomorrow, Carrick, I'm begging you, at least if you're gonna go, leave with 3 points. But Chelsea, 4 goals conceded all season, right?
That is such a good little screenshot of you in the corner from last week.
Well, yeah, you know what I mean. Jason, man,
Saeed
take
like
it out,
this,
man.
like this.
4 goals
in his
all
hand.
season, that's ridiculous.
But we're going to
That's
get a
a
new
nice
one
little
today.
thing. We love that.
Why do you love that?
Just love it. Why not?
Okay,
I
fair
love
enough.
it.
But
Right,
you know what I mean.
just to pause you for 1 second.
Yeah.
Bournemouth are 2-0 up at home. And
They're
I've
coming
just
up, you know, next season.
MK Dons have beaten Morecambe. Well, they're still beating Morecambe 3-0, but it's safe to say that's probably a thing. And that right back, the right back poll has concluded. Who do you think came top out of Reece James, Trent, Tomiyasu, and Kyle Walker? Outrageous. Tomiyasu was in that.
Spence?
My pick is Reece, but I think they pick Trent.
Yeah, I'm going to say I feel like there'll be more Liverpool fans in there.
There's a lot of Arsenal fans on here as well. It's actually Reece James with 38%.
Oh, nice.
Trent with 32, Tomiyasu with 20%,
What?
and Kyle Walker with 8. So basically,
Wow.
Kyle Walker with 28% if we're taking it out and making it
Wow.
accurate. That is outrageous. Absolutely
That's
outrageous.
ridiculous.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's interesting. Not much to
Yeah.
cut between the two though, which is
Can I just tell you the championship table?
You can.
Bournemouth are top, Fulham second, West Brom are third, Blackburn are fourth, Queen's Park Rangers are fifth, and Coventry City are sixth.
which is
Well.
if Coventry can stay there. Imagine if Coventry managed to come back.
That
I
would
mean,
be
it
crazy.
wasn't the
see
pro-
that.
was it? Yeah, if they can get promoted, about the size that club used to be.
Yeah, we love seeing the old
Yeah.
Giants come up, don't we? That's
And
what we
he's
want to see
playing
with
at
Villa.
want
Birmingham
to
as
see
well.
that.
They're playing at Birmingham apparently. They haven't even got their stadium. I'm sure they had some.
No, they
issues.
played at
Coventry
Birmingham
with
for a
the-
bit, but I don't know if
Oh,
they're
is it?
still
Okay,
I don't think
okay.
they're still at the Rico.
Okay.
The
I have
Rico's
no
long-
idea
the Rico's
where
long
they're at.
gone.
Yeah,
I
Lincoln's
think.
long gone. Yeah.
Long gone.
So yeah, that's the champion. Bournemouth and Fulham fighting neck and neck, and they're like 10 points behind the rest of them.
I do want to see Bournemouth come back up. I used to love them so
I
much.
Do you wanna know?
really not want
Do you like
them.
them?
We
Not
actually
like
it's
them
down
now.
They
south
take
teams,
4
you know.
points off us as a minimum
far away.
every season. I'm good.
You know what I mean? Like when
So
it's
good.
10,000 stadium, it's tiny. I want to see like.
Yeah, and the away allocation.
But you know what I mean? Like.
Yeah, that's fair.
Absolutely.
But I do like that. I like the small,
you like
small
it?
teams coming up and
Okay.
beating the big giants. Like, I love it.
Okay.
10,000 seater, but they beat the Liverpool.
Arsenal fans get so upset in this chat about me bantering Arsenal fans, saying my team. I know where my team is, Hans. I don't care.
Yeah.
I don't.
Are you getting
care.
rattled now? You get rattled.
I'm not rattled. They
rattled you, they
You know
rattled
when
you.
people like try and rattle you and they're like, "Oh, your team's this." I don't care. I know where my team is. I'm not.
Miura.
Anyway, right, we're going to go to a short break quickly. We may have a surprise for you when you come back, so stay tuned.
What are you laughing at?
Smoking on your tears, fam. You know that right there.
Welcome back to the best of enemies.
We have a special show today. It's Don Robbie's birthday. Get business. What are you telling me, fam? What the fuck? Happy birthday! Oh my God, this is ridiculous.
Listen, this is a very, very serious message. A friend of mine heard he's missing.
You know what I'm doing right now? Smoking on your tears, fam.
What a lovely surprise.
How's everything going, people?
Was better before.
Very good, Robbie.
It's going to be a beautiful weekend, man. Trust me.
Is it?
It's already a beautiful weekend.
It
for
is.
you.
4-0.
4-0
Two in a row.
Jesus, man. But yeah, no, man. Abbi, how's it going, man? I ain't seen you from the other day.
I haven't seen you for a while. Hi. It's going well.
No, somebody told me you'd gone on holiday to Slovenia or something.
There's been a goal at Rochdale. Rochdale 1-0 up against 1-1 now. Sorry, with Exeter City. We can talk about Spurs. We can preview Spurs versus Burnley. No problem. Burnley versus Spurs.
You don't want to talk about Arsenal today?
We've already done Arsenal. We've already done.
You already done Arsenal?
All the people in the chat.
Yeah.
Just too much.
Well,
Putting Tomiyasu there.
I weren't here, man. You know, we've got to talk about it again.
You can watch it back, can't you? Make sure you watch it back on the Don Robbie channel.
You've got to talk
Anyone
about it
missed
again, man. I mean, it was a good performance.
You know
First
what?
half wasn't.
But we
Wasn't
really are
great.
talking about it again.
Aubameyang.
No, we are
Aubameyang
talking-
doesn't want to talk about that.
Huh?
Aubameyang doesn't want to talk
Aubameyang
about
missed
the
a
first
sitter.
half.
He missed a sitter.
Missed sitter.
But,
Big sitter.
Yeah, but in the second half, much better performance by Arsenal. Lovely goal by Saka. Great goal
Brilliant
by
goal.
Martinelli.
Really good goal, that
And
second
do you know this is going to sound crazy, Saeed? Yeah.
Yeah.
If you lose tomorrow at Chelsea,
I know.
which you're not favourites to win it, but if
No.
you lost that game, this is crazy. Yeah.
Yeah.
If we went to Old Trafford on Thursday and beat Man United, we'll be 9 points in front of them.
I
Yeah.
know.
Madness.
It's mad, isn't it?
It is mad.
When you consider the start of the season,
I know.
That's ridiculous.
Only tax.
Only tax.
We paid a lot of tax and...
Might be Rangnick tax by then.
No. Come on, respect Rangnick, man. I think it will beat Arsenal.
I think you will beat
We will,
I think that they'll be...
Why?
Because I think they'll be galvanised.
Because we'll have that kind of feeling. Old Trafford
New manager bounce.
No, we'll have that. Old Trafford will be rocking. It's Arsenal.
New manager bounce like today. They have a new manager.
Who's that, sorry?
Oh, we had Newcastle.
Newcastle, new manager.
Well, I don't know if that's a bounce when it's Newcastle who are low confidence. But for me,
Tottenham,
we'll deal with
Tottenham's
Arsenal.
a new manager.
You're right there.
Can you stop talking about Spurs, yeah?
No, I'm just saying. You know what I mean? So
These bouncers.
No, but it's a massive game, though. It's a 6-pointer.
Yeah.
You know what?
It's a 6-pointer for you.
Yeah, I was just saying 6 points for us. You know when we laugh at like low teams down the bottom, we say 6 points. It is a 6 pointer.
Like you were laughing at us at the start of the season.
That we were.
And saying that we're going to get
But it's-
relegated
you
and
know
all
what it
those
is,
things.
though?
You know
Don't
what
get
I mean?
ahead of yourself because at the end of the day,
I'm not getting ahead of myself, but I'm just
honestly.
saying. No, listen, I'm not getting ahead of myself.
Yeah.
Right? Because I'm just saying how crazy it is that
True.
the start of the season, after those first 3 games, people were saying, relegation, this, that, and all that.
Yeah.
And then now,
Who was saying that?
well, I know you. Don't. Do you know what? I've got to say, one of the funniest things, right, in that game today was the chance started by the Newcastle fans, right, and then taken up by the Arsenal fans. It was
What were they
brilliant,
saying?
right? So I've got to keep it clean here.
Yeah.
Right? But basically, the Newcastle fans were singing, "We're rich and we're effing shit. We're rich."
Wow. That's crazy.
And then the whole stadium started singing it. It was just so funny, man. You know what I mean? But fair play to them Newcastle fans who would have left their house at like 3:30, 4 in the morning.
Yeah, it's high up in the country.
To get
Newcastle.
there for that game,
come down.
and you know what? In the first half, Newcastle, they really had that low block, hard. We found it really difficult to break them down, but got the job done, and I'm happy.
Should I just had a question about Aubameyang. Should he come out now, and should Martinelli be the front man?
No, not for me. We were just discussing it as well. We were speaking about it outside the stadium. There are some fans who are saying that he's off form at the moment. Maybe he should be dropped for the Man United game. But his work rate today was brilliant. He's not shirked his responsibilities. And for me, that's too big of a player to leave out in a game of Man United. We don't have the firepower of Man United where they could say, all right, Cavani's not firing, so bring in Greenwood or something. We don't have that. We
just have Lacazette, that's it.
Yeah, exactly. To me, he
There's
starts.
been
Red
a
card.
red card for Aston and Villa.
Douglas
Ooh,
Luiz.
that might change things.
How long's left in this game now for Gerrard?
Stevie G
He
won't
won't be happy with
happy.
that.
18 minutes left. Still a long way.
Do you know what was a big thing for me, Robbie?
Might be another slip-up.
No, don't.
That's what we're just saying. We're just saying that.
And I was just about to compliment you as well. Do you know what?
I couldn't resist it. Sorry.
Do you know who made a big difference for me today in the Arsenal game? And it's the first time I've watched them properly, and I was like, okay, fair play. This is why they've been raving about him. Thomas Partey. I think he was brilliant.
The weird thing is, I didn't think he was...
That assist that he did was fantastic.
Yeah, I didn't think it was his greatest game. Who really impressed me was the guy who actually last week messed up against you guys, which was Nuno. He was exceptional today. I really like him as a player. I was really disappointed last week because I thought defensively he did well against Salah. But then...
He's erratic. Do you think he's erratic?
Yeah, what it is with him, he's raw.
Yeah.
So you saw with that, I think even when he gave away that pass for the goal, he sort of
Didn't even look.
He dealt with Salah, and then he just ran off and passed it straight to Jota.
No. He's a madman, isn't it? I think he's a madman. He's like...
Yeah, but today, man, he was like... What I was thinking, I was worried about St. Maximan, who we kept... Like, he was anonymous today. And Nuno was like St. Maximan for us. He's so quick, direct. I really like him, and it'd be really interesting to see who starts against, we were having a debate about it. Who starts that game against Manchester United next week?
Yeah.
Is it him or Tierney? So that'd be interesting.
It's a good thing to have, isn't it? It's a good option for
Yeah,
you guys to have.
yeah.
Accrington Stanley. Accrington Stanley.
Who were they?
Accrington Stanley.
They're one who up away to Lincoln. Another one. Everyone has been winning away from home today. It's very
Except for Southampton.
apart from Southampton.
And Newcastle.
Yeah. Anyway, so going to give you the lineups for the 5:30 kickoff, which is Brighton versus Leeds. In goal for Brighton, they have Sanchez, Veltman, Dunk, Webster at the back. Lamptey, Gross, Basuma, Moda, Cucurella, Malpai and Trossard. And Leeds have gone Meslier in goal, Dallas, Llorente, Cooper, Firpo, Forshaw, Phillips, Rafinha, Rodrigo, Harrison and James. And that game is at 5:30.
I'll tell you what, man. By the way, Abby, just to say, you've been doing a great job. And you've done all right as well. Standard.
Listen.
Doyle's standard, standard. Lewis, I was watching it. Well, I was watching a bit of it earlier on. So, well done to you guys.
Thank
man.
you very much.
But I was just going to say, Abby, Leeds.
Yes. Well, we're going to talk about. Let's talk about Spurs and Leeds. Hold on. Right, we've got a super chat. It's really mean. Actually, I'm going to read it out though because I need to. Saeed's hairline moved forward since Ollie's sacking.
Listen, I had to adjust it as well. You know what I mean? I got the throw right today. I'm glowing. You know what I'm saying?
You do look happier. You look refreshed.
I look happy. I'm fresh.
I said that at the start. I was like, it's nice to see Saeed.
I said to the barber shop yesterday, I said, give me the best trim possible.
Give me the Ollies out.
Yeah, Ollie out trim. Yeah. I wanted to come here fresh. And, we're good right now. But the table doesn't lie, though. I still can't get ahead of myself that Arsenal are 6 points ahead of us when you guys were the banter club, you know. It's crazy.
That game is going to be very, very interesting. Is it Thursday, right?
Thursday, listen.
Thursday.
Big game. We lose that. Honestly, I'm gonna have to lay low for a couple of weeks.
Let's see if you can get past Chelsea first, right?
Yeah, well, one game at a time.
Let's see if you can do that. Sheffield 2, Wickham 2. Wickham have just equalised in League One. Yes, Leeds and Spurs, that game last week, it was an awful game. It really was a terrible game. So boring. And you consider that both sides have been known for their attacking flair and nice passing football.
I think it was a bit unfair to Leeds in the first half.
The first half.
They played well.
They did play half.
In the second half,
they both flipped. And I think that if you're watching that as a neutral, I think that it's a shocking game because both sides didn't do anything. Spurs were terrible in the first half and allowed Leeds to play really well. And in the second half, Spurs I don't think were great.
To be honest, I was enjoying the first half.
Leeds mirrored Spurs and they just stopped playing in that second half.
Poor Leeds look like they are going stale this season. They are a shadow of themselves last season. Like that Bielsa ball last season, everyone was raving about it. They were like, wow, look at this fella coming in.
Because for me, in the Premier League, you have to have a solid base of defence.
Yeah.
And honestly, Leeds, when they came to us at the start of the season, they were 1v1 defending.
Yeah.
And I was shocked.
No, that's what he did against Spurs.
Yeah.
And in the second half, I couldn't believe what I was watching. We was doing the watch along here. We had Fuad and Toby. In the first half, they were stressed because Leeds were excellent.
Yeah.
They were all over Tottenham. Dan James.
Calvin Phillips wouldn't give Harry Kane.
Calvin Phillips was brilliant. Dan James. You're 1-0 up.
I know.
Right? Now, I have to really start questioning Bielsa, right? Because you're 1-0 up against Tottenham. Where's Tottenham's strength? Up front.
Yeah.
You're doing man-to-man marking with Harry Kane, Moura, and Son.
Yeah.
I was like, are these men crazy? It was only a matter of time, and then straight away Spurs started creating chances in the second half.
Yeah.
That's when they should have just said to themselves, we're 1-0 up, right, let's sort of be more structured now in the second half.
That's what we're doing.
Because a point for them would have been good.
Yeah.
That's what you find though sometimes with these managers with massive personalities. If they have a style of football and they're not going to change it for anything, they won't adapt to the game. That's why sometimes people like Pep get criticism because he tweaks so much sometimes in these big games that it doesn't work for him. It did the other day for PSG.
Yeah, it did.
But Bielsa seems like he is very much, this is my style and I am not going to budge any other way. No matter who I'm playing, this is the way I'm going to play.
Rafinha's back though.
And I have to say Leeds have had their injury worries.
Yeah, they did.
They didn't have Luke Ayling as well.
What would Leeds, be honest with Leeds fan, what would they have? Be strong and resolute and be consistent in the Premier League? Or just because it's Bielsa, they got them up, they want to play this fans football.
But I think the problem is it's second season syndrome, isn't it? Like loads of clubs had. We saw it with Sheffield. We've seen it so many different times. And also they didn't strengthen in the summer. I think they signed Junior Firpo, didn't they?
Yeah.
And I think they made Dallas. Dan James, and I think that they made Harrison permanent.
Yeah.
But apart from that, they didn't really do.
But you know what, Abby? I just think it's their style of play. Yeah. I think in the first season, you thought, okay, brilliant, breath of fresh air. But now everyone, to me, sussed them out. Yeah. And I'm telling you, the way they're playing, man, they're going down. I mean,
get relegated.
Like you said, that game when they played against you guys.
Oh, I was shocked, honestly.
You can't go to Old Trafford and you're going. They're not Man City.
Yeah. No.
You know what I mean? And even Man City didn't do man-to-man marking.
No.
It's
space that they afford,
suicide football.
Yeah, the space that they afford to players. Sometimes when they played against Liverpool, I literally watched Thiago walk with the ball in the middle of the pitch.
Yeah.
Consistently, though, over and over and over. It's the style of football is starting to go stale for me. It really is.
Let's just run through some scores quickly. Burton Albion 2, Doncaster 0, Salford City 2, Oldham 0, AFC Wimbledon 2, Fleetwood 1. There's lots of these teams turning it round. So yeah, we'll have a
big up to Brandon Thomas Asante, who scored there for Salford. I know his dad. Right? And I remember watching him. When my son was at MK Dons, he was there, the older kid, but he was at MK Dons as well. And he's gone to Salford City and he's scoring regular goals there.
That's good.
So
big up.
Yeah, big up to him. I know his dad, man. His dad like always putting in extra work with him and stuff like that.
Yeah.
And so that's good to see. Good to see that he's scoring.
We like that. And in the Premier League, nothing has changed at all. Arsenal early kickoff finished 2-0 with Newcastle. Liverpool, I can see that corner of my eye. Liverpool 4-0 against Southampton. Crystal Palace 0, Aston Villa 1, and Norwich 0, Wolves 0. Guess that's a good result.
On the Scouts front, I'm very happy. Gerrard's winning, Liverpool are winning. Fantastic.
Yeah, there we go. Happy all round.
Support now, aren't you?
Yeah. Except when Villa are going to play Liverpool. I think that's next. Is it the 11th or something?
Yeah, we've got so many good games coming up in December, all of which you will be able to watch a lot of them on the Don Robbie channel, obviously, and we'll be telling you about those fixtures shortly in the coming weeks.
No, never boo Gerrard. Never ever boo Gerrard.
They probably let him win
in the coming weeks. Right, okay, let's talk about
Tottenham. They want to talk about Tottenham, apparently.
Okay, they want to talk about Tottenham. We can talk about Tottenham.
Have you heard the Conte tweets? Honestly, have you heard what Conte's been saying?
Yes, and he's correct in saying it.
Yeah.
He's correct in saying it. Anyone who didn't know, Antonio Conte basically came out after that NS Mura game and said the quality is, long story short, exceptionally low. They're very, very poor. There is a hell of a lot of work to do. I think he said that it doesn't lack, the one or, the availability that these players, they want to try and they want to be good, but ultimately the quality is just not there. And that's something that Spurs fans will know and, have known for a long time. And this is going back to, even under Pochettino. We knew we needed the rebuild and to refresh it. We didn't do it properly. And when we have done it, we've cut corners and we've gone for, the cheaper option rather than paying for actual known talented quality. I would say Ndombele and Lo Celso I'll take out of that equation. That's a whole different argument on those two in particular.
Yeah.
But Jose Mourinho came in, and I think that he underestimated actually the level of the squad at that point. And this is already nearly 2 years. This is 2 years ago now, and the level has not increased. If anything, it's got worse. So that's where we're at. I think that it was highly embarrassing about the game at Mora, but from my perspective, I don't necessarily care because I think, as nice as it would be to win a European trophy, I think at the same time
you have to qualify.
We actually have to first qualify, and also now we have to rely, if we're to get through to the next round, we have to rely on Mora beating Vitesse. I think if we're to qualify,
so
I think it is correct. But I would say I would rather, and I didn't want to be in it from the start of the season, and I say this because I don't believe Spurs have enough quality to actually do it, and I don't see the point. I would rather focus on and have one game a week like Arsenal. I would rather focus on an FA Cup, the Carabao Cup, and put the focus into that. I don't care about the European Conference League. I know Spurs aren't good enough to be in the top four. They're so far off the pace. That's not my.
They should be good enough to win that Conference League.
They should be good enough to win that. But at the same time, you look at the level of, and actually, it was a good side he put out. He put out a strong team.
That's what I thought.
When
I was thinking to myself, right, I'm going to look at it, and it's a bunch of kids.
Yeah.
And I found, even when you look at some of the comments that Conte said, I'm looking at that team and I'm like, well, there's a lot of players there that, Ndombele.
Yep.
He's supposed to be the headline guy for the whole team.
Yeah. Well,
if you're saying that his quality is he's a digger.
No, I'm saying. Listen, this is through the grapevine. You know when they say the grapevine, and I was hearing Pogba regen. We can toe to toe with Pogba.
But you know what? He's so.
That's what I was hearing.
Look, I have this theory that about Ndombele. He's the laziest guy, right?
Yeah.
In terms of he won't run for you. He's not interested in doing anything like that. Incredible technical ability, amazing
talented
feet. If he went to Chelsea, where he doesn't have to do the running and the hard work because he's got such a good team around him, he'd be unbelievable.
No, but the thing is, he'd have to do
right?
the running.
He'd have to, yeah.
That's the thing about these teams like
but
Chelsea.
if you've got someone like an N'Golo Kante in that midfield that will take it off him, he doesn't have to track back as much as he would have to, unfortunately, with us, because
he's not a player that's going to dig in and
Yeah, he
dig
plays
you
for
out
himself.
of something. Innit?
He plays for himself.
And also, you know, the other player that I looked on in that game, I was watching the highlights of it. Dele Alli, Jesus.
Yeah.
Dele.
What a form.
You know what I'm saying?
He's
got
flogging a
more
dead
kind of,
horse.
like, you know, hair dyes and he's
Yeah.
had good performances. You know, the amount of time I'm just seeing it a rainbow. I'm like, listen, Dele, concentrate on your football, mate. Then your hair
exactly.
dyes.
And then the other thing is, right, if Conte's saying, right, that now I recognise the problems, now I recognise how, but some of those players that are playing are the new signings.
Yeah.
Well,
They sign
no,
like Brian Hill.
I think
and
the thing
these
with
are
Brian,
the new guys, isn't
I
it?
think the thing with Brian Hill is that he's young, Brian Hill as well. I think that he needs to bulk up and quick. You know, like, there's no expectation on someone like him. It's really unfortunate what's happened to Christian Romero. He's he went away on international break. He's got a really bad injury, and it's actually and it's actually I think worse than they actually thought it was. So he's gone for another scan this week, and that's unfortunate because actually he would have been the one person that has been really positive for Spurs and actually would be a great person in that backline to actually implement what Antonio Conte wants to do. Whether it's got Dyer next to him, Ben Davies, he obviously trusts Ben Davies a bit more, but like. Unfortunately, that's a big loss for Spurs, you know, when we don't have someone else that is defensively sound, you know, there. Brian Hill, there's not so much pressure on. I'd say Lascelles, so again, really, really disappointing, has just not been up to the mark or good enough. And Dombele, no point. Again, loads of players that are sitting there that should have been shifted, you know.
What is
Harry Winks, another one. Dele Alli, what? Are you joking? Have you seen
Winks
that?
is terrible.
It's terrible.
But what is Conte going to do? Because I also saw that Tottenham about like nearly £100 million in debt.
Yeah, they are.
Right, so it's not like they're going to have, unless maybe some sort of owners coming in.
Oh,
2-0. It's 2-0. 10-man Aston Villa.
That is a shock.
10-man Aston Villa. They are 2-0 up away at Crystal Palace. That's a great result.
He's the type of lad, that's what I'm talking about. He's the type of lad that'll look at someone like Steven Gerrard and go, wow, I watched you growing up. I want to play good football for you. And he's got bags of talent. If you watch John McGinn, he's brilliant. You watch him for Scotland, he everything goes through him. He's a fantastic footballer. And I'm so happy to see Gerrard.
It's exciting.
That's a very good result.
Very
in the ground running and he's doing well.
They've been playing well, haven't they?
They really have been.
Well,
2-2 now.
yes, lads.
Huh? Yeah.
2-2.
They're actually putting it past one of our legends, the Owen Vieira.
Credit where it's due there, and also
right,
10 down to 10 men as well. There's been a goal at Swindon Town. They've equalised against Harrogate, and AFC Wimbledon 2, Fleetwood Town 2. Yes, what were you saying?
I was just saying, like, you know, so what about all these new guys? I was saying the debt. The debt that they're in. So unless there's some big owner coming in,
the thing is that when
is he going to have loads of money to spend?
If you read the
Has
other
he made
report,
a mistake, Conte? He could have got the United job.
Could have got the United job. But he might have to wait. You know what I mean? It might come in the summer. You know.
Did you read the other statement about owners and owners and chairmen that put money into the club? Did you see that report?
No.
So,
the report from Tracy Crouch.
Yeah, the Tracy Crouch report. And if you have a look, and there's the bottom.
I contributed to that, by the way.
Did you?
Oh, fair play.
Well, when I say contributed, no, wait, steady on. Let me steady on. But they did call me when they were putting that report together.
Yeah.
Her office did call me and had a very long chat with me about what I thought about the state of football, and not just me. They spoke to many other people, and I think it's really good. I think that report that they've done is good. I think, and you've got to big up Gary Neville as well, because he was really pushing hard for this regulator in football. And I think that if we can get that, that's going to be an exceptional thing. That means there'll be no more super leagues like what we saw before.
It has to go through.
And big decisions are going to have to be made in consultation with the fans.
By the way, that red card was actually rescinded from Aston Villa. That didn't pop up on there.
It makes sense then. I was going to say.
There we go. That did not pop up on our screen. So thank you for the people in the chat.
It was a red card, but who was it for?
Douglas Luiz. Thank you very much, people in the chat, because we did not know that. So going back to that report, so if you had a look at what owners put in where, the very bottom was Mike Ashley, who took out 200 million for Newcastle, and then second bottom was Joe Lewis, who has put a fat total of 0 into the club.
Wow.
Do you think they're trying to sell it, Abby?
They've been trying to sell the club for 4 years now. They value the club at 3 billion.
No chance.
That's the problem. That's the problem.
With 5 billion. They can't even sell the naming rights to the stadium, you know. And I think that this is the thing. There is money, you know. Our owner has a hell of a lot of money.
And Conte,
he doesn't want to put
even
it
said
in.
something like, he said, like,
he called him out, didn't he?
He said, when you look on the outside, new stadium, this, that.
Yeah.
But then
Because their training ground as well is another unbelievable.
But this is not stuff that, Spurs fans didn't know. Mauricio Pochettino made it very, very clear just before the Champions League final. He said you can have a beautiful home, but if the furniture in it is crap, it's crap.
Yeah,
at the end of the day. And he said it, and then we're going back for 2019, so we're, 4 years ago now?
I've said,
and that's it.
I've said, for me, like I said it and I predicted it, if it doesn't go well for Conte, he'd be the only manager I'd look at and think, yeah, I'm just going to walk from this.
And he'll walk away from it. Yeah. And I tell you what, if he walks away from it, good luck, because I don't know where else this club can possibly go after that. Yep. And that is the big concern. But January is going to be interesting because, they're doing what they always do, saying there's no money. Well, you're going to have to find some money because otherwise this manager, you spent so much money on sacking managers because you didn't want to back Pochettino, which you should have done, and then maybe we wouldn't be in this situation.
Why didn't they let Dele Alli go?
Well, I think
I
think that I've got this feeling that he may go. I think he'd be a good signing for a Newcastle as a statement signing.
What a shame that is.
I think he needs to. I think he needs to go. I think that maybe there is a player in there, but it's not going to happen at Spurs. Yeah. Harry Winks needs to move out. I still think the likes of Davis and no one. I don't care. I'd rather honestly get rid of them. Get rid of all of them.
Clear out
the whole thing. And I swear to God, I would rather see Dane Scarlett start, than half of these players that don't even want to give 10% of their attitude and turn up and just put in shit performances
like
that.
What I noticed, Abby, right, is that the Tottenham under Pochettino, their work rate, the running, the Tottenham I saw the other night.
They've lost it. They've lost that.
No work rate, man. Just walking around.
It is. It's exactly that, and you see it in the stats. And look, I'm assuming that Antonio Conte will change that. The stats were slightly different. In the first half to the second half with Leeds, Spurs ran a lot more, and I think whatever he said at halftime obviously works. But they were first with everything under Pochettino. Sprints, kilometres, chances, this, that. Because what they lacked in maybe, I don't know, like star players. They worked so much together. It's a bit like Liverpool at the time.
That's why we compared a lot, actually.
And that's why I always say we were at this turning point together, and you went one way because you invested correctly and we didn't, and we just remained stale.
This is what you need right now, though. You need Conte. You need somebody to come in, right? Because this is what Robbie said the other week. He said that it's not really a good fit, and I think like the style of play that he's going to implement is not going to be what Tottenham like, but also it's not going to be what your owner's like. He doesn't want to be called out by his manager and say, I need money from you.
Well, he's going to have to be called
Poch
out.
never did that.
But that's the problem.
Poch was just like, yes sir, no sir, 3 bags full sir. And he did what he could with his team, and he implemented that like philosophy with his team. But Conte won't have that.
But then you look at the end of Poch's era, the Poch trade, and actually he did start calling it out, and you can see that he'd given all he could, because he thought, well, I've given all this when I've had 2 seasons away from home. I've had a season without a transfer, and I'm asking you just to give me some backing. Got you to a Champions League final.
Have you heard about Partey as well? He's under investigation as well.
Who? Partey?
Partey, yeah.
For what?
Apparently he did something at Juventus. Have been like, so something's going on as well there. Listen, honestly, that's not fake news, I'm being serious. I mean, the comments will tell you. Apparently he's under some sort of someone scored.
There's been a goal.
Who's that? Must be Villa, because he's probably.
We're waiting, and just in the meantime, there has a.
Yeah. Unless it's one of his former clubs.
In this championship, Huddersfield 1,
somewhere in
Middlesbrough
Birmingham
2,
or something.
Something like that. It must be Coventry.
Yeah.
AFC Bournemouth 2, Coventry 2. And just to give you this before we go to a quick break, Steve has said, please Saeed, would like to know the last time United won a trophy, because I've got some United fans getting hyped up over Rangnick.
Last time I won a trophy was Premier League 2013.
Any trophy?
2017 Europa League.
Okay, so actually not that long ago. So that backfired on.
4 years.
It's not really, when you put things in perspective. It's really not that long ago.
Okay?
Anyway, on that, we'll be back after this short break.
Antonio, 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 Antonio. Antonio, 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 Antonio.
After 3 weeks and a half, I can tell you that the situation is not simple. The level of the Tottenham is not so high. This mustn't be scared.
Antonio, 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 Antonio. We have a world-first live fantasy football game called Top Squad, where you can win prizes and smash your mates in our live fantasy football game, competing with your favourite influencers while watching our streams. Play every Premier League game and more.
Yes! Go on, Nuso! Go on, Nuso! What are you doing here? What are you doing here? You get me? What the fuck? Oh, shit!
He's done. It's your
People that come at us and say F1 is boring, they don't watch it, clearly.
So we're at the best stadium in the whole of the Premier League.
What are you laughing at?
Smoking on your tears, fam. You know that way there.
We're finished, aren't we? Yeah.
Palace.
James. Yes. Okay, and we are back. And while we were in that quick break, Crystal Palace have pulled one back.
I know, terrifying.
Against Aston Villa, literally dying
95th
stages.
minute, I believe it was.
Dying stage of the game. Yeah, 90 plus 5. Exciting.
Yeah.
Right, looks like everyone is pretty much wrapped up. We'll give it a few more minutes. But it looks like everyone's pretty much wrapped up in the Premier League anyway. Don't forget Brighton versus Leeds at 5:30.
I'm looking forward to that game, actually. I want to see them both playing attacking football today. I like watching, like again, Palace and Villa, that type of game. When you look at the 8th to 13th place type of teams and they all play nice football, this is a fixture I'm actually looking forward to, especially after Liverpool win. When your team wins and you get to watch everyone else. You love that, don't you?
We like to see it. Right, okay, shall we run through
It's over. Villa's over.
It's
Villa's
over, and all the championships are
Good
pretty
luck,
much over
good
as well.
lad, Gerrard.
Okay, let's run through the results. Premier League, Arsenal won 2-0 earlier on in the early kick-off against Newcastle. Crystal Palace 1, Aston Villa 2, Liverpool 4, Southampton 0, Norwich 0, Wolves 0, and Brighton Leeds coming up. Oh, you haven't got them, have you? Have you got them?
Yep.
Okay, cool. Championship, please.
Yep, Championship, Preston 1, Fulham 1, Birmingham 1-0, Blackpool 0, Bournemouth 2, Coventry 2, Huddersfield 1, Middlesbrough 2, Hull City 2, Millwall 1. Luton Town are still playing. It's currently 1-2 to Cardiff. Peterborough 0, Barnsley 0, 82nd minutes. Stoke 0, Blackburn 1, and Swansea 2, Reading 3 full time there as well.
Ooh, okay. Wimbledon 2, Fleetwood Town 2, Bolton 2, Cheltenham 2, Burton 2, Doncaster 0, Cambridge 1, Sunderland 2, Gillingham 0, Portsmouth 1, Morecambe 0, MK Dons 4, Oxford 0, Rotherham 0, Plymouth 1, Wigan 2, Sheffield Wednesday 2, Wickham 2, Shrewsbury 1, Charlton 0, Lincoln 0, Accrington Stanley 1.
Who are they?
Who are they?
Yeah.
Exactly. I also thought someone else was going to say it.
Accrington Stanley.
Have you finished with that one?
Yeah, go for League 2.
Yep. Over in League 2, we have Carlisle 1, Walsall 0. That's still currently playing. Crawley 1, Mansfield 2, Forest Green 2, Bristol Rovers 0, Northampton 1, Leyton Orient 0, Port Vale 2, Hartlepool 0, Rochdale 1, Exeter 1, Salford City 2, Oldham 0, Scunthorpe 1, Bradford 1, Sutton United 1, Barrow 0, Swindon 1, Harrogate 1, and obviously the Tranmere Village was postponed due to adverse weather.
Okay, so we are almost done for the day. You are very happy, aren't you,
I'm
Doyle?
extremely happy. Scouse victory today. Gerrard, Liverpool, match of the day. Wonderful. Can't
Wonderful.
wait.
You're going to have a lovely night in.
Yeah.
It's freezing cold.
It is
London.
cold outside.
Saeed?
Yep, we're getting ready for the game, you know what I mean? I might hit the London town, see what you say.
Ooh, wrap up warm. There's no trains either, I don't think.
No, so I'm going to see if I can go Mayfair and chill. and yeah, we'll chill out.
Go Mayfair and chill, as you do.
Yeah.
And get prepared for tomorrow.
And just get prepared for tomorrow.
Get prepared for tomorrow.
Yeah.
Lewis?
Just looking forward to tomorrow, really.
I want to know your prediction for tomorrow, please.
We'll go 2-0. We'll go a humble 2-0. If it was Ollie, I would have gone for 4 or something.
Yeah.
A humble 2-0. Saeed?
I'm going for Chelsea 2-0. Honestly, I can't see a result. I really can't. And it's crazy because if it was Rangnick, I would have said United to win 2-1. But under Carrick, you know when they say hope for the best, expect the worst?
Yeah,
that's me
I get
tomorrow.
Doyle, what do you reckon?
Tomorrow, do you know what? I wouldn't put it past Man United to beat Chelsea, just simply because it's so off the cards and so against the run of play at the moment that you could just see it happen. Plus, that stat that Lewis said earlier, they haven't won since 2017.
Yeah.
So, but I'll be
Plus
real.
Anthony Taylor tax.
Anthony Taylor's Lewis's best mate. But having said that, I'm going to be completely realistic and I'm going to say 2-0 too.
Okay.
It's just got to be Annie.
All right, we'll go with the same. Okay, right. Shall we reveal our predictions?
Are you ready?
I definitely wasn't correct. Doyle?
Let's have a look. So I've got
Ping it round.
3-0 Liverpool. I was one off there. 4-0 it actually was. And then I've got Palace and Villa 1-1. It was actually 2-1. And then I've got Norwich and Wolves 2-1, but it ended 0-0, so a bit of a boring game there. But none of them right, actually.
We're all not far off. We're all not far off. Go on, Saeed.
I've gone with the same with Doyle. I've gone for 3-0 Liverpool. Obviously, it was 4. I've gone for 2-2 Aston Villa. Nearly. That's why I was like thinking, come on, it's one more. And obviously, 0-0. I went for 2-2. I thought it'd be an entertaining game.
I did as well.
A good result for Dean Smith, though.
Again, mate,
0-0. Lewis?
Well, I got everything wrong again. I went Liverpool 3, Southampton 1, and Southampton couldn't even get a goal. Palace 3-2 Villa, which was probably the closest, but still didn't get that. And Norwich 1-0 Wolves, and it's just goalless, but here's what it is.
I was totally off as well. I went Liverpool 3, Southampton 1, Palace 2, Villa 2, and Norwich 1, Wolves.
Yeah.
Norwich 2, Wolves 1, and none of those came in. So
yeah, they're all pretty rubbish,
maybe we'll start again from. I never get prediction like bar that West Ham Liverpool one, but we'll start that. Thing, that leaderboard. From next
we need
week.
to. I'll be at the bottom of it like at the moment. I think Robbie's actually be at the top of this at the moment.
I think Robbie might be.
Yeah.
I think we should definitely start that from next week. Definitely start that from next week. Just to let you guys know, the games coming up for tomorrow is Brentford versus Everton at 2:00, Burnley versus Spurs at 2:00, Leicester versus Watford at 2:00, Manchester City versus West Ham at 2:00. That should be a good game as well.
Yeah, very good game.
And then, of course, Chelsea versus Manchester United, which you guys can, of course, watch on the Don Robbie channel on the watch along. So make sure you guys tune in. It's been a pleasure, guys. Doyle, thank you very much.
Thank you very
Saeed,
much.
Thank you very much for having me.
pleasure. Lewis,
Yeah, great to be on again.
you look like you're wearing Crystal Palace shirt, hun, though.
Yeah, don't worry, I'll switch to all blue for tomorrow. All black, United's funeral.
The last one. Before we resurrect like the Undertaker.
Oh my God! We've only just seen the start of this, guys. It's going to be a long 6 months before they get whoever's in charge, and then from that point, even worse. But thanks for watching, guys. Thank you so much, and we will see you again the same time next week. And lots of fixtures and Premier League previews and reviews coming your way this week. So make sure you stay tuned to the Don Robbie channel, and we will see you very soon.
See you later, guys.